Richie Rich. Back at y'all with another show. Y'all probably love to hate this one, but we gonna do it for the MAGA fans. Should Trump be impeached?
Damn.
How should we start this shit off? What you think, Gator? Should he be impeached?
Oh yeah, apparently not just me. he already he already being impeached. Now we're at the point of being removed. So yeah, I do believe he need to be impeached. A lot of fugazi stuff going on around him, man. A lot of people are being hushed not to testify. I never knew people who've been charged with cases and they defense is, well, we ain't gonna show up in the court, and all the other people that's been charged, I'ma specifically get lawyers to say that they don't talk, to exonerate themselves, to say we don't need to be there, but we ain't did nothing. And just because we think the charges is bullshit, we ain't gonna show up. You try that in real life and see how it works for you. These are trumped up charges. I wasn't speeding. That was bullshit parking tickets. I ain't going to court. See how that works. See how that worked for you. And clearly, it's that type of mentality that was a precursor to, I can go and shoot somebody in the street. I can do this. This amendment says I could do what I want. We already knew it was coming because of the comments. I'm gonna go with my boy Big Boss. Let me go to the word right quick. What the word say? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak.
Yep.
Right. Right.
Wow.
And that's what that authoritative mentality. You know what I mean? That king like monarchy mentality of, I could do what I want. I'm here to, and here it is. It kind of caught up with you. So, but you say you ain't doing nothing, and all these people that was involved, go ahead and let them talk. Let them go in the open and say they didn't do nothing and get questioned. It's that easy. It's that easy.
So what you think, Earl, man? We're gonna get the big boss last, the biggest boss.
Okay. Listen, I'm gonna keep it real, right? Yeah, it looked funny. It looked funny, and if we are going according to the law, and what they're saying that he did, he I'm trying to see how to word it, but he it can be perceived as him misusing his power for his own personal gain, whether it be for elections or for, whatever it is. But it can be perceived as him misusing his power. Do I want him to be impeached? Personally speaking, no. But I could understand the reason for them trying to bring up charges based upon what took place. I'm gonna leave it at that.
So what took place though?
Allegedly, a whistleblower who snitched, by the way, we just gonna refer to him as a snitch, but allegedly it was a conversation where they state that our president was pressuring the Ukraine to search or dig up information regarding Joe Biden and his son, because apparently there were workings or things taking place while Joe Biden was vice president and his son was working for a Ukrainian company. And supposedly, I guess Trump suggested, withholding, like, I think it was like, what, $500 million from the military that Congress had already allocated and stuff like that. That's what they're saying. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't actually hear any conversations, but I've read transcripts that CNN is talking about, and like I said, I can understand, but at the same time, I'm looking at the perspective of Ukraine, where they've clearly said more than once that they didn't feel as if they were pressured. They weren't even aware that money was held back, and you know what I'm saying, and eventually the money was released and given to them. So that's what I'm saying. So if I'm talking to you and I'm like, hey, listen, man, this is what I need you to do, because if you don't do it, it's a possibility that you might not get this $500 million. You're gonna feel some type of way. You're gonna feel like there's some type of, you know what I'm saying, like some type of pressure there. And not any time did they feel that way. And here's the thing, man. The House wants him out. That's what it is, man. The House wants him out, and he's been untouchable for so long. This is not the first time they tried to impeach him. They were looking for impeachment toward the Mueller case, toward the Mueller investigation and all of that. And this is a real bad look on him. You know what I'm saying? It's a real bad look. I can't speak on the reason why he did it, or but it looks real bad. That's why I said I could understand why they're trying to bring him up on charges. I fully understand it. And my man Gator made a valid point. We're not talking. We ain't got no reason to show up to any trials. I mean, it just looks bad. But I need my boy to at least do 8 more years, man. I can't even lie to you.
He said 8 more.
I mean, he can only do 4, but I need something to change, man, to where he can make it like 8.
Hey, he looking to get that money in the stock market. That's what you looking for.
Listen, he's making money for everybody. It's not just me, bro. He's making it for everybody. It's just some people aren't taking the time to utilize how they can make the money off of what he's doing. That's not his fault. You see what I'm saying? That's not his fault. Like this hopeful 8 years that's going to pass. I know the last 4 years is not about being uneducated. It's not about things being handed to you like how a lot of people want it easy. It's about you actually getting the education and doing the knowledge and utilizing what you can to make the money off of it. If you remain to, and I'm not speaking about anybody on the panel, but just people in general, if you choose to remain ignorant and not utilize opportunities that set forth for you, and you want to blame it on its opportunities for the rich or this or that, that's your fault, bro. You know what I'm saying? But don't blame the man for that when he's making opportunities. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of mergers going through, a lot of mergers that was stopped previously during Obama's administration. You see what I'm saying? AT&T, and then now this dude's letting deals go back and forth. You see T-Mobile acquiring Metro. You see now Schwab is acquiring TD after they acquired some military accounts.
They doing too much, man. They doing too much.
It's good for the market, man. It's good for everybody. It's just that not everybody know how to utilize it. That's all I'm saying. He's bringing opportunity, bro. It's
whether making America great again.
I ain't say he's doing that. I mean, he's making shit great for me. I can only speak for me. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Nothing wrong with that. I respect that.
We hear from the big boss, man. Well, what's up, man? Do he need to be impeached? What did he do wrong, big boss?
Now, hold on. I was liking the back and forth between them two, Irwin and Gator. It looked like Gator was about to chime back in.
Go ahead, Gator.
I'm in the cut. I'm in the cut.
So Irwin,
I got a full clip. I'm gonna unload in a minute. I got a full clip, but
Irwin and Big Boss, we all talk about this behind the scenes all the time. Just like I talk with Irwin from the business perspective, and I agree with them of deregulation of market, mergers, and things like that. What I don't trust is people. We've seen this before. We had one of the worst financial crises of 2008 when we deregulated. We came through with tech, we came through with housing, but money makes people more greedy. And that's why we had President Barack Obama came in and put back in the regulation and the checkpoints. And guess what? Got our economy to the best it has seen, which it is not a fact that Donald Trump does not have a better economy than Barack Obama. That's not true. It's not true. If you go in, when he say the stock markets are the highest they have been, that is true. But has he grown the stock market from when he started his presidency to a height with a higher percentage than Barack Obama did?
Yes.
That's the part you have to look at. Percentage wise, when you talk about hiring jobs, has the job market increased more by percentage wise than it has than Barack Obama. So yes, we do have the most people employed right now. But how much of that did he add to it? He's doing a good job on the economy. I'm not gonna take that from him. I'm not gonna take that from him. But the things I always tell people is, hey, you got to move your hands slow and is in the tiger mouth. I'm not oblivious to people been gunning for to get him out of there since he came in there. They feel like he shouldn't be there. They feel like he's undeserving. Some people feel like he's not a part of that group. Whatever their motives are, whatever, but it behooves him not to been smart while he was in that position. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey,
It behooves him not to be smart while he in that position, to be doing slick stuff like he been doing. And like I said, it always puzzles me that your whole crew, everybody around you go there to drain the swamp, right? But only people going to jail are in your administration. Your lawyers who kicking around doing dirt for you on the side. And guess what? Guess what? He all that loyalty they had for him, everything they was doing was to solely benefit him. Solely benefit him. But guess what? Man, I didn't even know they was doing that for me. Man, I got some good friends. Man, they wanted to go jail, go do fed time for me, break all these laws, and do. Man, you did all that for me, and you go sit down, do it. It would be crazy for me to think that all my friends be doing all that stuff and I don't know nothing about it. But you drain the swamp, but only your people going to jail. I ain't seen nobody else go to jail. I'm waiting for the other people to go to jail. You know, Hillary, only person, she was the main person supposed to go to jail first. She's still out here laughing, doing Howard Stern interviews, everything else. But maybe she protected by the deep state. I don't know. I don't know, man. But like I said, I just got questions. I just say, hey, it doesn't pass the eye test. It doesn't pass the eye test of what we consider is right and wrong, what you and I would be able to get away with. Now, we want to talk about money. Hey, the money is there. The stock market is there. I don't know too many people making more money now, you know, because they don't have money in the stock market. So I don't know how many people that really benefits that. You know?
I mean, so let's speak about this, right? Number one, I can't speak on the inner workings of the people surrounding him and what they're doing. That's above us. I'm speaking about the general public that is employed now with the way unemployment is, with the way job opportunities are. And I know you're saying that things were taking place before his term, but is he fucking it up? Is he?
No, he is not. He's doing a good job with it.
Okay,
Not the best job, but he's doing a good job. I salute him for that.
I mean, it like Bush came and fucked up the first year, bro.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
I like President Bush. I got to stay out President Bush.
But I'm just spitting facts. Like Bush.
Well, I would say this is what happened with President Bush. President Bush was handed a surplus on the budget by a Democratic president, Bill Clinton. And what did he do? He did the right thing. He said a country should not be profiting and making money off its people. So since we got a surplus, I'm going to do a tax cut. Guess what happened the next year? 9/11. We got to fund $1 trillion war. But guess what? The tax law is already on the books. You can't reverse them. That was the big controversy that Barack Obama had. He was like, when we started going through a recession, do I want to pull back the deficit and roll back the tax laws, or do I want to keep them in place? So President Bush, he was doing the right thing, but he just couldn't predict the future, you know? And then it was already lost. So that's what kind of hurt us, fighting a war on two fronts.
I don't know, because I do understand what you're saying with the war that took place, and that did devastate a lot of things. But the point is, he was given the country when everything was fairly well, right? Now Trump was given the country when everything was fairly well. War or no war, he did not make it worse. Could he have done things better? Possibly. I don't know. But he did not make it worse. He's continuing an improvement. You see what I'm saying? Like, it may not be at the pace that people want. It may not be at the at people's expectations. But when you comparing him to the previous term of the president of the past 8 years, and for the general public, and let's speak about Black and Hispanics, he's done more for us as far as schools than the previous president. If we're talking about education and funding schools and things to assist small businesses, like he's done more, like stuff that actually trickle down and benefit people. So I don't see what all the hate for him is for, because he's not playing by the popularity contest, bro. Like he's not playing by the, like he cares if the American public likes him or not. He cares about the bottom the bottom
That
line.
dollar. He tell about that dollar. That's it.
But I mean, let's be honest. Isn't that what it is? Isn't that what
about a
it's
dollar? Nah.
Yeah,
For me, it's not about a dollar.
I mean, I don't know, because our daily lives revolve around it.
But it's not all about a dollar.
He's opened up, like everybody complaining about this Mexico thing, right? And what's taking place in Mexico and how you speak about Mexico and the borders and all that nonsense. Okay, do you know how much people have been employed now due to this bullshit? How many contracts have been signed? How many people are now working in border patrol?
It's one contract that's majorly signed by a contracting company out of North Dakota that's actually being investigated by the DOJ because they feel like he's Trump's right-hand man, and he pushed for Congress to give him that contract. They've been investigated now.
I can't speak on that.
Oh, I can speak on it. I do a whole lot of reading.
But what I can speak on is that we have way more, I believe it was over 5,000 people in Border Patrol that's now employed that were not employed previously. And there's more that's being that they're hiring for. This is how Boston, like you met Boston and Columbia. This is how Boston even got
Shout out to Boston.
This is how Boston even got his job and is doing Border Patrol now. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's what's the end game, and the end game for all of us is dollars and retiring happy and having that income. Like I don't care about all the other shit he's doing. Like I care about how it affects me. Like, and I don't want to say actually fuck it. I'm selfish. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna say I don't want to say I sound selfish. Listen, it's bad if I see the next man, and it hurts if I see the next man who's not utilizing what's there for him. But at the end of the day, you going to work, you getting that check for you and your family, bro. Like your business is what you're trying to do, extra income that you're trying to generate, the longevity you're trying to have. It's for you, bro. It's not for your neighborhood. It's not for the people down the street or the people who's hating on him or complaining about certain things he's doing. You have to utilize what you can to the best of your ability with your surroundings. Like, and it's not his fault for not making it dummy. What is it? It's not his fault for dumbing things down for people to understand, bro. Like that's not his job. That's really not his job. He's the only one in a long time who's actually been running this country the way it should be ran, like a corporation.
Right.
Wrong answer.
That's what it is. The country is a corporation, though. The country is a corporation. The president is the CEO. The Congress is like the board of directors.
I can't hear you, big boss. I think you might be muted, or is it me?
Oh, for real? Am I muted?
Can you hear him, Erwin? I can hear him.
Yeah, I heard Big Boss. I heard everything he said.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I couldn't hear Big Boss. Maybe it's me.
Yeah.
Hey, Gator, try to back out and come back in.
I see he had the little line through his mic, whatever that means. He had the line through his mic. Yeah, but while we waiting for Gator, America is a corporation. I mean, that's just what it is. The president is simply the CEO. The Congress is basically just the board of directors. Even the governors are will be the regional directors.
Yeah.
And then the mayors would be like middle managers. Police are like the security. They're like the internal security.
And the general public, you decide if you want to be bondholders or if you want to be shareholders.
Right.
But that's what it is.
Well, me. So I can tie this right back into the first video I ever did with Richie Rich with the conspiracy stuff. That
no, please don't.
Yeah, well, it all. But that's the whole thing. It's a complete package. It's not separate when you're over here and it's separate over there. It all ties back in. That's what the whole thing of it being real. So, all of us, when we're born, we're worth what? $600,000 in the international market. Our birth certificates are filed away. We're basically we're all products. We're all products of this system. So that's why I would say when you talk about deep state, like and Gator, me and you was already going back and forth. Personally, we was going back and forth in the
Yeah, I
DM.
love you, my brother.
Right. And what I was saying then, I say now about on this public video is the deep state or the globalists. Basically, all that is it's a one world order to reduce the whole world population into being poor. That's all it is. And so the deep state is also the permanent state. They've been there for basically almost since the beginning of this government system. So this Trump guy, this crazy orange man bad New York businessman comes in out from politics, from business, to drain the swamp, to clean it up. He's a wrecking ball. He's wrecking their system. This is what the impeachment is. The impeachment is the deep state fighting back because they realize Trump is an extra potential threat that's going to threaten the way they've been doing business. So it doesn't matter if it was Bill Clinton. It doesn't matter if it was Bush. It doesn't matter if it was Barack Obama, who's related to the Bushes. Barack Obama is a 13th cousin to the Bushes. That's a fact. Look it up. Through his white mother. So it doesn't matter if a Jeb Bush or Hillary Clinton get in and they keep the royalty going. It's either a Clinton or it's a Bush or somebody that's related in the bloodline. Now you get a crazy New York businessman comes in, runs it like a real business and not keeping the same motto in play. So now they have to come up with a reason to impeach him. And anything would do. You said it yourself, Gator. They don't respect him as a president. They feel that he shouldn't have won. That's why they put out during his inauguration before January 20, 2017, they were already writing in the papers that they're preparing to impeach him. The man is not even sworn in on the Bible yet. This is before January 2017. 2 years ago, they said they was going to impeach him. Fast forward to 2019, now they want to impeach him over a telephone call.
But
so anything
boss,
would do.
Big boss, I don't mean to cut you off. I do want to hear what you're saying. But something you're saying and something I just read a comment by Jim Hayden where he said Trump should not be impeached on trumped up charges. And this is why I said earlier, I feel personally, like I said, I need him in office, but you know what I'm saying. But I mean, if we're looking at the Constitution, bro, like what he did is kind of, I mean,
no.
I wouldn't say the charges are trumped up. It's not like it's a stretch, bro.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know, man.
So it's interesting. The Richie Rich, you got a very panel here. So on one extreme, you have Gator that says that of course he should be impeached 100%. Then in the middle, you have Erwin that says that he doesn't personally want him impeached because he benefits his financially, but he still thinks what he did is wrong. Then you got me on the other end of the spectrum, opposite of Gator, said even what he did still is not wrong. It's still not impeachable. And of course, I don't want him impeached. To impeach, you need a crime. Show me the crime. The crime is not that you don't like him.
No. It's really along the lines of bribery. And as the president, like that's against the Constitution.
Yeah. But you don't need a crime to get impeached. They didn't impeach Bill Clinton off a crime.
Yes, it did. His crime was lying. His crime was lying under oath.
Yeah, he lied under oath.
He didn't get it. Bill Clinton didn't get impeached for getting the head from Monica Lewinsky. That's not a crime. Yeah, but the crime was he lied under oath.
He said smoke weed.
The crime for Nixon was burglary. Even though he wasn't a burglar himself, he authorized burglary. So
he utilized the CIA to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So impeachment is a crime. Impeachment is not a popularity kind. Well, we don't like him because he does crazy tweets. We don't like him because we think he's racist. We don't like him because he's a bully. So we don't like him. He needs to be impeached. You cannot like him all you want. That's your right not to like him.
Well,
Impeach, it has to be a crime.
here's the thing.
There's no crime.
Here's the thing, Big Boss. Like, I mean, we all know that he doesn't like him, and we know that due to that, they've been looking for ways to bring charges against him. You know, like that's the whole point of the impeachment.
They're fishing. They're in search of a crime. They're in search of a crime. They don't have a crime. They're in search of. They put impeachment first, and then whatever crime will follow. Whatever they can throw, whatever their stick.
Well, yeah, well. The impeachment is basically it's just another word for like charges. It's like he's charged with something.
He's just gonna take you to trial.
Yeah, he's just charged pretty much for what they're saying.
And you don't even want
the crime.
Even if you have to be charged for a crime. Even in a regular court, you're charged for a crime. You're not charged because somebody don't like you.
All right. Let me tell you how this works, because I think this is what most of America. So impeachment inquiry is like a detective going do an investigation. Right? We going to see if anything's there. It's not Detective Adam Schiff's and all of them. It's not their job to say yay or nay. It's their job to go gather the information, pull it together, say, yeah, I think you got. Take it to the prosecutor and say, yeah, I think you got enough to make a charge.
Yeah.
Go to the prosecutor, you make a charge. They do that. They say, well, what would you think we charging with? Well, here's what we think you have enough evidence to charge him with. Bribery, or what they say, obstruction, and then it said abuse of power. They say, we think you have enough. They say, okay, we go package that up.
Which and really, it's all of that is a violation of the U.S. Constitution.
And they say we're gonna take that and we're gonna take you to trial on that. And then the trial is done by the Senate. Now he can go before the Senate and go under oath and say, okay, what evidence do they have against me? And here's what I got to defend myself.
Yeah.
And he got all Republicans in the Senate.
Yeah.
But the whole thing about how the timelines are working, how you got Giuliani around here, he missing now. Nobody don't know where he at. Mike Mulvaney, he said that one incident on TV. Yeah, we do that. We do it all the time. Ain't nobody seen him since. All them boys and got missing. Everybody got quiet as a church mouse. Quiet as a church mouse. Ain't nobody talking about that. Everybody's now talking about the Democrats, and they've been in the basement. Well, they're in the basement because that's where the skip is located. Because they didn't want, if you're investigating somebody, what you do with the witnesses or the people that's involved, the code, you separate them. Mm-hmm. So you don't have public trial, you don't have public investigation and letting the witnesses in the same room so they can hear each other's story. You do that in a secure place. So like all this stuff, Republicans said they did it in the basement in secrecy. That's how investigation is handled on the streets in America. Mm-hmm. But maybe they feel like the laws are different from them. But I feel like they sell these ideas to make you think things are being done underhandedly. And somebody just need to come out and clearly say, well, this is how the process works. And if he's innocent, like he says, he has his day in court, which is in the Senate. And you can go there. Your people control the Senate, and they can send whoever they want.
And before that, it has to get like the before it even gets to the Senate, it has to pass the House first. Like it has to be like a majority vote.
It was go past the House because it's ran by Democrats.
But I'm just saying. So like once it passes, like you know what I'm saying, then his charges are official. You know what I'm saying? Then he goes to trial with the Senate. And I think with the Senate, it's like you only need like 2/3 of a vote, I believe.
Yeah, but they need like 51 people to come with them. They ain't got enough. I think they only got like 20 Democrats in there. They need like 50. They need 51. They need they need a majority to remove him. So he's been impeached. Now they're just going to remove.
And here's the thing, Gator. I want to ask you, like, he doesn't have to talk though, right?
He don't have to.
He doesn't have to participate in anything.
Like you got an election year. Like they probably are motivated, right? Not probably. Most likely are motivated to not get him reelected. So you got an election year. And you could subpoena like Bolton. You could subpoena like Mike Mulvaney. You could subpoena like Giuliani and all of them. But it's going to be in the courts longer than a year. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of them just forego that. And they just went with the evidence they had because they feel like they had enough. Because that's all they're doing. Like, every court then said yes, they have to testify. Is at the Supreme Court right now for the people that they had. So that's why they didn't go after Mike Mulvaney, because it was like they didn't find out the information by him till like last month. So they like, man, it's already took like 3-6 months to get the other people to testify. So that's why they didn't worry about it. They felt like they had enough. But I'm like, if you ain't got nothing, you just take yourself down there, testify under oath, like the congressman said. He said, "Hey, if President Trump want to come here and sit in this chair and say what he got to say, they say we'll open up any time for him." Simple as that.
I wouldn't. If I was Trump, I wouldn't do it.
I'm not.
I wouldn't even give credence to it. I
I'm
wouldn't
not.
give credence to it. It's a
I
hoax.
agree.
It's a sham. I wouldn't do it.
I
Well,
agree.
I wouldn't say. I
They
wouldn't
would
say.
try to lay perjury traps for him anyway, and that's
Well,
that's
only way you can perjure
that's
is
how
if you
they
lie.
caught.
That's
That's
the
how
only
they
way.
caught up most of the people, huh?
That you can't nobody catch you in perjury unless you lie. Can't nobody unless you lie.
Well,
That's the only.
no, where they ask you questions or whatnot. That's how General Flynn got caught up.
All
General
you have
Flynn.
to do is tell the truth. If somebody say, "What's your name?" You say, "Big Boss," and then you come in here, you say, "Nah, it's really Bellstorm." Well, you lied. You know what I mean?
No,
You
it's
lied.
both.
Ain't nobody make you lie.
Both is true.
You
So
know,
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't if I was him. I wouldn't do it. I would play hardball too.
if I knew I was gonna get asked some questions that to make me suspect, I wouldn't do it either.
Look at
You know?
that.
I would, but I'm saying if I know that I'm probably gonna get caught up, I wouldn't do it either. But if I knew I wouldn't,
Oh, okay. Well,
I
that's
would.
a true statement. That's a true statement. A guilty person wouldn't rush to go down and volunteer. That's a true
But I
statement.
know some innocent people that wouldn't do it either. Because
Yeah, exactly. And that's my
most
next part.
attorneys advise you don't get on the stand if you ain't got on the stand.
That was my next part.
You know,
I remember long time ago, 20 some years ago, when I was young, I did a stupid crime with a gun, and my dumb ass, it wasn't really a crime per se, but my dumb ass was talking to the police. Then I went and got a lawyer. My lawyer must have chewed me out. He said, "Don't you ever talk to the police like that. I don't care if you did it or if you're trying to tell them nothing. That's not your job. You don't do that. You don't do that. You let me do it. You tell me."
make them do their job.
Right.
Don't
You
make
tell
them
me and I talk to them. I was young and dumb. So like I said, if I was Trump, I wouldn't do it. Matter of fact, and the whole thing is turned on its head. In America, you are innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof is on the Democrats. You got to prove I'm guilty. I'm not going to come in here and prove I'm innocent. You got to prove I'm guilty. I released the transcript. If you know how to read, if you know how to read English, if you can read, I released the transcript. In your mind, if you want to interpret the words on a paper because you already internally feel some kind of way and you are prejudiced against me, you don't like me, you hate me, you want me out. So you read the words on the paper, but the ones and zeros in your brain misconstrue it. And now you feel, and it's your right to feel, you feel that I bullied, I pressured, I intimidated, I blackmailed. You can feel that all day long, but that's not proof. Just because you feel that, you can feel that. I said what I said. I want you to do us a favor. He didn't say me. He said us. So who's us? His campaign? Who's the us? If you put it in context. Then he came out and said it. The us
I would
is
say
America.
him and whomever. I would say him and whomever.
Well, he came out and clarified it later. He said the us is America. Do us a favor.
But
He
Big
didn't
Boss,
say do me a favor.
but Big Boss, in like honestly speaking, in your
Honestly speaking, honestly speaking.
Honestly speaking, you mean to tell me you don't see the slightest of it looking bad? Like you like it does it looks bad, bro. It does look bad. I'm not saying
not to me. Because you have okay, it will look bad to somebody who's uninformed. But if you're informed and you know the context, it doesn't look bad. It makes perfect sense. The whole thing they were talking about was corruption. In Ukraine, that whole country was corrupt. So that new president he was talking to, Zelensky, he recently just got elected. He kicked the old president out. He recently got elected and he ran on an anti-corruption because it was hella corrupt. And so that's why they held the money. They said, we're not going to pour gasoline on the fire. We're not going to give you hard-earned. First of all, you talk about your money. That's my money. It's your money. It's Gator's money. It's Richie Rich money. That's Americans' taxpayer dollars. First of all, I disagree with us giving them money anyway. But he said, I'm not going to give you our American workers' dollars. Give you American dollars, and your country is corrupt. Yes, you just got elected and you ran on the anti-corruption. But hold on, I'm not no fool. I want to make sure for myself that you're not corrupt, you're not compromised before I release this money. It's my money. I don't have to give it to you. Okay, Congress okayed it. Congress okayed it. I don't have to give it to you. It's American money. I want to make sure you're not corrupt. Once you satisfy that you're not corrupt, I'll release the money. So that's what that's about. So now, if you have a Democrat in the media, a globalist media that will manipulate it and they'll say it a certain way, yeah, I can see how that can make someone uninformed think some kind of way. You're going to follow along like a lemon. Oh, well, he must have been bullying him. He must have been trying to bribe him. He was saying quid pro pro. If you don't do this investigation against my political rival, you won't get this money. That's not what it was. That's not what it was. That's not what he said. And it's not in the transcript that was released. So here it is.
But it wasn't mean it wasn't said.
They released the transcript that's released, but yet and still people still want to think what you want to think, even though it's in black and white.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, and this is why I say I think people sometimes be intellectually ignorant to certain facts. So this is how it breaks down. The money was approved when? Like back in February.
It's been approved.
We've also given Ukraine. We've also given Ukraine money 2 times already. But as you say, it was a new president. All right. First question I was at: how many countries on record have we investigated about corruption?
I don't know that. I don't know that.
I don't know that. Okay. I don't know
next question.
I don't know the answer to that.
How many? What leaders do you see President Trump closest to? Who we always talking about?
Corrupt countries.
North Korea, Russia,
North Korea.
China.
He goes to the G20 all the time. He was just with France. He was just with Macron.
But I'm saying, but who,
I know that. I know that's what you say. I know.
No, but I'm saying, but who is he most closest with?
Who is he most closest with?
He's most closest with Russia.
Yeah, he's most closest with Putin. Yeah.
When the last time he saw Putin? He just went to the G20. He saw all the other leaders.
Yeah, but he
just had the Russian foreign minister in the Oval Office yesterday.
And we all know Ukraine and Russia. You know,
they're at war.
They're at war.
Russia went in.
That's what the money was for. That's what the money was for. Really,
sovereign land from Ukraine. They went and took a country. And while they're still at war and people are dying there right now, he said, "Yeah, I know your people out there dying. And you need this military aid to fight my buddy in Russia, but
we already pledged to you.
Yeah, I need you to do me this favor though."
Yeah.
No. Then you just did it right there.
What?
He didn't say me. He said us.
Okay, I need you to do us this
Thank
favor
you.
though.
So if you're gonna say it, say it right.
Let me tell you something.
You're perpetuating what the media does.
But I'll say even if you say us, if it's
us,
you're looking even if it says us or me. He's still the beneficiary. America is not benefit, and they haven't even given all of the money. They still holding $34 million of the money. Why? Because they didn't send the money off in time and didn't meet the fiscal year deadline. And now they have to get approval to send the other 34 million. So they didn't even get all the money. And the only time he released the money, so I'll tell you about the timeline. The timeline started way back. What they wanted to do when he started talking about Maria Yokovich and they wanted to get her removed, it was because Giuliani was over there already cooking up this story, right? And he wanted to get a passport for the old prosecutor that Joe Biden had already got removed, that the whole Western world wanted. But she said she would not approve a passport for him. So she was in the way. So guess what? They got her removed to try to get him a passport, the old prosecutor that everybody hated. So they got her out of there, right? They just called her back. No reason. They still haven't yet to say, what did they do for her to lose faith and confidence? Have yet to say it. But all of this stuff, Giuliani over there on the campaign, I'm over there working on behalf of the president, right? So they go along and the money's held up. The money's held up, right? Trump is told, right? He already knows about the money held up. And then the Ukrainian president is asked, well, hey, when can I get this meeting? Hey, they saying we can't prove it, right? But they're saying, well, hey, you ain't gonna get that meeting until you announce this. Till you announce this investigation. Dude said this under oath. He said, you ain't even got to do the investigation. You just got to announce it. Now, people are saying, that the Ukrainians didn't know the money. That people are saying that the Ukrainians didn't know, but there's reports that said, oh yeah, they knew that the money was being held up because they knew it was supposed to already been there by a certain time. Hence, hence the call is made. They finally get the call. The whistleblower complaint is out, right? It's out in August. It's out in August. The House hears about there's a complaint, there's a whistleblower complaint, but it's being held up. They launch a paper to say, why the hell are y'all holding up a whistleblower complaint? Because it's congressional mandate that it moves forward. One day after that, the aid is released. When President Trump is briefed that, hey, congressional, they about to ask about this whistleblower complaint. Oh shit, get that money out of here. Boom, it's gone. So that's why it looks suspect. You got an ambassador being fired with no cause. You got money being held. You got a whistleblower complaint that you and your lawyers going back and forth to figure out, well, do we have to send this to Congress? Do we not? Do we not? And then they say, yes, you do. And we're going to subpoena you for that complaint. And then when they subpoena you for the complaint, all of a sudden, I don't want nothing. No pre quote, the money's released.
And this is after you specifically target Biden and the company that Biden's son was working for. That's what I'm saying. It's a bad look. It is a bad look.
And then your chief of staff come and say, of course we did it. We do it all the time. he said on national TV. And then President Trump come and say, yeah, I will hope they go and investigate them like they said. And I hope China does it too. The same thing he did in his campaign. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you got those emails.
Right.
Why is but you can't. You gotta have some type of more stability to yourself.
Yeah, that's
right?
why.
And some type of character. It's like you just want to win by any means necessary.
Yeah,
even if it is a foreign entity, and that's the part where I say that's where it goes beyond. It just can't be about the jobs and the money here, because now you're making it seem like America's for sale.
Yeah,
that's the part that's why I say
that alone is a threat to national security in itself. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know his intentions, but it doesn't sound far-fetched when they say that he was using his presidency for his own personal gain, especially toward the 2020 election. It doesn't sound far-fetched.
The guy tried to have the G7 summit held at his own resort. he tried to sole source a national meeting for his own resort. Sole source it. You know how hard it is to do a sole source requirement in the government? That means that what I'm trying to do, no other company can provide it, so it has to go here. Anything else has to be put out to 3 people that can bid on the contract. But he said, nah, just have it in my resort. You know, so it's things like that. You know, it's things like that people talk, and like we say, well, he been giving back his salary. Man, he making $38 million a year by making the government stay at all his hotels a year. What the hell if he give back $400K?
Yeah, $400K. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a bad look with everything he's been doing, man. It's a real bad look. So,
I don't think so. I disagree. It's a bad look if you're already against them. That's the thing. It's like what they call it, the Rorschach test, where you go to
psychiatrist. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and
it's like you're already operating with a bias, so you're looking for something. You're looking to
exactly
get something.
Yeah,
and things that you will overlook with others, you're not going to overlook with him.
It's also called the halo effect too. Yeah. What halo effect is the positive one. The halo effect.
But he has turned the president on his head. That's supposed to be like the highest of the high position, right?
Yeah.
And he been doing this thing. I give him credit. He did it his way, and he runs the country his way.
Yep. Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I don't really agree with the country being run like a business. I know things should have some business element with it, because when you're dealing with other nations, and you're dealing with a nation with the most powerful military in itself, there's no money you could pay them to go out there and fight behind you. Mm-hmm. So when you start talking about money, but you asking somebody like me and many others to sign an unlimited clausability of I'll put my life on the line, well, y'all don't pay me enough for that. So if it's all about money, I need my part. Because you out here, you stirring up all this shit with everybody else. So let me know what's going on. So that's why I say it starts to move beyond the money part. And that's what things like it can destabilize and cause issues with national security and things like that, you know? And even with his kids, you got his daughter over there with China, and she probably one of the only people in the world that got intellectual patents where her stuff won't be well, her
Yeah,
stuff won't be reverse engineered and sold, but Gucci and everybody else stuff get made over in China, but not hers. She got intellectual some that
yeah,
people can't even get. So
yeah.
it's just those type
It's
of things
it's
surrounding
yeah.
you. It just looks, and then all your people going to jail. They going to jail left and right. And you like, well, I don't know him. Who is that? Who is that? This dude
Like
this
you
dude
shit
gave a
on them
million
after.
dollars to you. This dude gave $1 million to your campaign. Well, who is that? Well, he your damn ambassador to Europe. You don't even know who he is.
Hey, nah, listen. Hey, this nigga paid your hoes, bro. Like he was cutting checks for your hoes.
Yeah.
You shitted on him.
Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, but straight up, I think he is doing a good thing, and I commend him. Like straight, definitely trying to take on China. I seen that the stock market is actually rallied today because they say they're nearing a deal and they're going to avoid the like December 15 tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because President Trump, he was no joke on that. But
He's holding his ground. Like no one
yeah,
does that. No one does that. He's holding his grounds. But like Gator said, in the example with the daughter in China, like he's clearly abusing his presidential power, bro. Like it's but you know what I'm saying? But there's a, if you're gonna do it, there's a way to do it. But don't if you're gonna do it, there's a way to do it, but don't do it with the like I don't give a fuck mentality, and you
yeah,
display that as well.
yeah. And the one thing I would say, like I say, with the business part that I think hurts America, he makes everything transactional. It hurts us not to be a part of NATO. So you can go over there and talk about NATO and stuff all you want, and you can ask any NATO country, any country in the world, how many bases they got in America. Period. And then you ask the question, how many bases does America have around the world? So those are the type of things you got to be careful with when you want to say it's just about money. And that's why we've been beneficial to never have a war on our ground, because we already stationed abroad and far, and we can meet the enemy where they are. Only time that Title V that's been used, it's been to help America. Title V is one attack on one country's attack on them all. And the only time it was used was by America during 9/11. So when you go back and you start talking about what they ain't paying this, they ain't doing this, it don't matter. But when we called on them, they was there, and they still there in Afghanistan and Iraq, and they doing their job. So that's the part that bothers me, that every relationship just can't be transactional. Well, okay, I'm gonna do what you gonna do for me. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do what you do. Because when you start involving lives and whole countries' livelihood and survival and sovereignty, it's beyond money. So you got to be careful of that. And those are the type of things I worry about.
Yeah, see, Gator, and like I said, you served, you still serving, so you know way more about it than me in that aspect. Um, so that's why I can't speak on that, but I definitely hear what you're saying, and it make a lot of sense. Um, but like I said, I like the dude, man. I
They
like,
go they go make him famous though. He gonna be the only president get impeached and get reelected. He gonna be famous, man, because
yeah,
Democrats is trash. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And he's not the worst thing that could ever happen. You know what I mean? So I'm not anti-Trump. You know what I'm saying? I salute President Trump. Like, I think he does the best of what he has. I just worry about the people he have around him sometimes. Like he's advising, because he got like hundreds of people around him. You know what I'm saying? So people talking to him and then just saying, well, hey, you could do it this way, that way. And I know he got a mind of his own, like most of us, and he want to do stuff his own way, but I would just say, hey man, just be aware of your decency, and don't be so transactional, you know, because a relationship can do more for you than money will ever do.
yeah. No, that's a good point. Rich, what do you think, man? I want to hear what you think. Where Rich at?
I think he's full of shit. But like you said earlier, man, everybody around him is going down. The lawyer he had working for him, he's supposedly gonna blow a lot of whistles and shit like that. I don't really keep up with it a whole lot, but man, if everybody going down around you, man, come on, man. You knew what was going on, man. So I think the man should be impeached. Do I like him? No, I don't like him. But like Big Boss said, man, if you don't have no evidence, then you can't just impeach him off of, oh, I don't like him. I agree with that. And they not going to impeach him, man. That shit not going to happen, bro.
Yeah, it
So,
might.
nah, man.
It
Nah.
might. They have to vote. Well, like
He's
Gator,
already been impeached. Now he just got to be removed or stay. So he's been impeached.
he's been impeached.
Yeah.
He's been impeached? Really?
Yeah, I mean he's brought up on charges,
Yeah, it's
but
at the Senate. It's at the Senate right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
It's past the House.
like yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's brought up on the charges, but he's not gonna the Senate's not gonna vote against him, bro.
No, that's not gonna happen.
That's not
They not gonna do that.
that's not gonna happen.
But this is one thing I do agree with, and this the one thing that when you impeach a president, right, your evidence should be without a doubt and very overwhelming.
yeah.
That's the part I do agree with. Now I can say all this. Like I'm gonna tell you, if any one of us had that, if they had that kind of stuff, well, hey, it came in, the call came to your house this date and this, we got you. We going to jail. You know.
Right.
But when you talk about a president, you bring the nation to a halt, and you want to put the man that holds the highest office in the land on trial. When you make us all stop what we doing to pay attention to that, you better have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You better have it, and I think that's the part that I just don't think they got. You know
No,
what I
they
mean?
don't. They don't got that. And not only that, but the impeachment is not just the removal of him from office. Like he's going to be. It's
On
like
jail.
he's going to do some time. I don't know how long he's going to do. I mean, they ain't going to put him in there for like no ridiculous
So
time.
you
But
think
No,
he's gonna
He
get
won't go to.
impeached,
He
bro?
won't go. He just use the other president. They resign or he just get removed from office. But man, he'd be the only
So
one that would
Ern,
get
you
removed from office.
you think they gonna get him up out of there?
nah, I don't think the Senate's going to get him
Nah,
out,
he ain't
bro.
gonna get up
That's
out of
not.
there.
It's not going to happen,
He
bro.
ain't gonna win again.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, bro. Like
And that's the
he's
crazy
gonna be
part.
he's going to
That's
be
why I'm like,
elected.
what would be a motivation to hurt Biden when you already winning?
Yeah.
Like you ain't even you like, oh, they already go take care of themselves. I ain't even got to get in it.
But
You
see
see
that,
what I'm saying?
but that's the thing. And it was like his last
That's what he
run.
did.
It's like the way he ran last time, bro. He doesn't just want to win. Like he really wants to destroy you to the point where you give up. Like like he wants to make you quit in front of the nation, bro. Like he wants to embarrass you. Like you know what I mean? Like, but I will say this: as much as for what he's doing, for me personally, um, if he wins, which I think he is, the next 4 years is going to be very, very scary.
So you think
Why you say that?
he's not gonna get impeached, but he's not
Because he
gonna
ain't
get
got
put out
nothing
of
to
office,
lose after that.
and he's gonna get reelected?
Yeah, listen,
He gonna get reelected.
he's really the Teflon
Big
Don,
boss,
bro.
you really believe that he gonna get reelected?
Oh, absolutely. The
Bro,
Democrats have nothing that can touch him.
let me tell you this: I would never think in history the dude who says "grab him by the pussy," bro, is going to be the president of the United States.
Twice.
Never. Yo, he's really the Teflon Don, bro.
Do
He
you
really,
think?
really is.
Do you think he got elected because they had a black guy in office and they want kind of like just the opposite?
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
I think he
Black
actually
guy
earned.
won twice.
I think he earned every one of those votes.
The black guy won twice, so that wouldn't be it. If that was the
Well, I
case,
think
the black guy would have won once.
yeah. I think with the Clintons background, and then you got to think President Barack Obama, he was historic. So, but him being people were just there for the moment. There's people they can't tell you nothing President Obama did, but they like, hey man, I'm voting for him, you know, because he's
Right.
black, you
Right.
know, and but his votes didn't transfer over well. It didn't transfer over well to Hillary Clinton. And then too, they kind of split the House when they kind of split the party with Bernie and Hillary. Then they chose Hillary over Bernie, so a lot of people were disgruntled, especially a lot of young millennials and Generation X type
Right.
individuals. So they just wouldn't go vote for her at all. So they just
Right.
stayed home. They didn't vote, and especially when all those emails and stuff came out showing like how they pushed Bernie out. And then too, then the FBI released that letter right at the time of election for Hillary's campaign. You know, that's why I'm like, when they talk about the FBI hated and tapped wiretap on President Trump's campaign, I'm like, they actually released the letter and all that stuff on Hillary Clinton. They didn't even, you know what I mean? So I can't really say if they did anything truly, if they were truly trying to hurt him, you know, because they did truly hurt her campaign. But I think it was those factors. Um, but a biggest thing, he told it like it is, and a lot of people saw themselves in him, and they was like, "Well, man, I can go up there. We need somebody just like common folk in there." But I'm like, this dude got his name on the plane, on the helicopter. He shit on gold toilets, but you think he the man for you? He got all his production and stuff overseas in China. He all the
Right.
jobs you talking about that's being shipped abroad. He got the jobs abroad in China, making his ties, suits, and knives and stuff. But he go, I'm like,
And he
oh,
got the Mexican building his building.
so it was just things that people were saying, like the very things that y'all feel like that y'all losing to, like he's participating in. You know, so I was just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But it's just those things. And I think maybe he's doing the best he can, but he been in his life, he been his whole life been in business, right? So he's operating from a business perspective. You know, when you paying off people over here, you doing this, you a certain pressure from different sides and have people straddled across the negotiation table. But this is more the people business
But
and
but
not the money business.
but see, the thing is though, Gator, what he's doing openly is what has been going on for years though. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
Oh, I
this,
agree.
like this guy, like he it's kind of like saying not only is he's a businessman and a president, but he's it's like he's a lobbyist as well. Do you see what I'm saying? Like he's playing all positions, and he's ruthless about it. And that's why I say the next 4 years could be the most detrimental, because like he only has 4 years left. He can do whatever he wants. He has nothing to lose. You see what I'm saying? Like so that's the only thing I would say that's like scary when you think about the next 4 years, because you don't know what's gonna happen. He can literally do what he wants.
Shout out to Mr. G, man. So he's saying, so all the West Point graduate Vietnam, Iraq war heroes, long-term diplomats are all lying, and Trump is the only one telling the truth.
Deep state. That's all
Yep.
deep state.
Yep.
What you think,
I'ma
Big
say
Boss?
it.
That's
I'ma say
true.
it for Big
Yep.
Boss.
What
Everybody lying on him.
what Gator just said in sarcasm,
Yeah.
what Gator said in sarcasm is what I believe in reality. Yeah, deep state. It's the deep state fighting back. That's what it is. The deep state is also the permanent state that's been there for decades and decades. Deep state consists of people in military, people in academia, people in middle management jobs. Their jobs is to keep things status quo. And it takes a lot of people to do that. So media is complicit. So yeah, so that's what I believe. It's the deep state. It's the permanent state or swamp that doesn't want things to change. They want things to keep going the way they were.
So check this out.
Well, Big,
What what
hold on, real quick.
uh,
Hold on, Gator. So, Big Boss, just
Yes,
tell me
sir.
this.
Yes, sir.
So you're a Trump supporter and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
So, how does Trump affect you personally? How does him getting elected for another 4 years? How does that help you personally?
Well, the main way it would help me personally is that it would help the economy in general and I have more opportunities. If I was like take advantage of it, like the way Erwin said, if one of these other Democrats were to get in, the way that would affect me personally is they would push for socialism that would take money out of my pocket. Another way, if one of these wacky Democrats get in, they would take away guns. That would affect me personally.
More
One of, these,
regulation.
one of these crazy Democrats get in and they tear down Trump wall and then they let millions and millions of undocumented workers come in, that would affect me personally. So the things
Well,
that Trump is doing affects me like indirectly. You know, President Trump doesn't come to my one bedroom apartment and tuck me in and read me a bedtime story. But the things that he's doing, the things that he's doing for the country overall, trickles down and affects me indirectly.
This is one thing I'm gonna say, right? This is what's so funny. Let's say the middle class workers who got the company investments, their 401k, or they're 100% vested in whatever companies they're working for. None of them are complaining about their 401k right now. None of them. Why is that? Because these same corporations that they complaining about that got this now, small businesses, I think it's like 21%, and the larger ones are like 29% tax breaks. They don't see that stuff is benefiting them, and that's toward their retirement. You see what I'm saying? It's money that they putting in there, whatever it's like 4%, 5%, whatever they put in every pay period, and then their employer is matching it as the market is going up. Why is nobody complaining about their 401k? That's what I want to know. Everyone's complaining about Trump and these businesses and what they're doing and how they're getting tax breaks, but yet the Fortune 500 company that they're working for that's receiving those tax breaks are the ones investing in their 401k toward their retirement. But nobody's complaining about that shit.
go ahead, Gator. You there, Gator?
Yeah, I'm here. Hold on.
I know I cut you off earlier. I hope you still remember.
Hmm.
So why he doing that, big boss? So what? If you could be honest, what are some of the bad things that Trump has done for America?
If I can be honest,
Yeah.
brother, I'm nothing but honest. Real
All
talk.
right.
So what are some of the bad things he has done?
Yeah.
Um, what has he has
I
done?
mean, like for the American, maybe the economy, or just in general, some.
I don't think he did nothing bad for the economy. Um, what's some of the bad things he's done? I don't know.
You just named some good things, so I mean, I
I
don't
can
want to
I
ask.
can name a
Well,
lot
well,
of
he's not.
good things he's done.
He's not perfect, and but I'm trying to think some of the bad things he done, the bad things he has done.
Go ahead, Gator. Gator said he got a few. He gonna fire
Oh,
off.
I didn't
Yeah.
say bad thing. I don't think I don't think any like bad like what would you define as bad? I think that's all in perspectives. People can say like the missile deal, right?
Well, they
They pull
say
us out of that.
Obama when he did the healthcare thing, that didn't
Oh
work
no,
out
you
well, and the
can.
prices
Well, I can
went
tell you
up.
this: you
It
can go to
really did.
those red.
That's a disaster.
Well, you
It
can go
was.
to those red states, right? Those red states that he won, and you can ask them about Obamacare. A lot of them losing their health care with that.
Yeah, exactly.
The health care wasn't. It's bad on the business side. It costs businesses money because it makes business spend their money for employees, or it makes them cut away employees to reduce their overhead. So is that whole thing motivated by money thing? Like, well, man, I want to keep more of my money. I ain't giving you no health care. So that's why we like we got to kind of all balance it out. But I can talk about like so we you talk about people talking about immigration and building the border. President Barack Obama deported way more people than President Trump did. Fact. That's a fact. What happened was when President Trump started talking
That's a
about
that's a
building the
that's an
when
actual fact.
yeah, when he started talking about building the wall, basically what he calls kind of like a run on the banks, right? Like when people think the economy going bad, they just go and take all their money out the banks, which we don't need. When he started talking about building the wall, he made more people actually come and try to hurry up and get in before it was built. So we saw a spike in people at the border, the highest it's been in 50 years when he started talking like that. We saw a spike of people immigrating into the U.S.,
They
the
probably
highest
ran
in
over and
50
helped build a
years.
wall.
That you know, So because he started talking about building a wall, so basically he kind of like agitated the problem. But with him creating more loop, like tightening up the belts on it and stuff like that, and doing the crackdown with ICE and stuff like that, it caused companies to start using e-verify and stuff more and not hiring illegals, which tightened the loop to help more Americans get jobs. So that's a positive thing that did come from that because they seen he was serious about it. Like we always talk about in President Obama, he deported a lot of people, but they really wasn't pushing ICE to go out there and just letting ICE go on like these sanctuary cities and stuff like that. So companies start saying, "Oh man, people will start enforcing these fines of illegals and stuff," so they stopped hiring them. You know, whether they were union job or not, and it caused other Americans to get jobs. So that was some positive that came, and that's what also helped that it caused the economy to go up as well. He pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement. He pulled out of
That's a good thing.
the ballistic. I don't know nothing about the climate. All I know is, hey man, some days I wake up it's raining, some days it ain't. You know what I mean? um, I know something about it, but I can have a conversation, but to say what a planet go be in a 30-year plan, 40, 50-year plan, I really don't have no knowledge. But I do think it's just like smoking. Like, yeah, if you smoke for 30, 50 years, you probably go get some type of lung cancer or some type of cancer, right? It's a good probability. So I feel like if we're putting pollutions into the environment in 50, I don't know how much the earth can ventilate and observe and recycle and refresh the air in that time. I do think it will have a negative impact. Does it have as much impact that we need to restrain companies and make them do all these things with exhaust and emissions like we do? I can't say that I'm not smart enough to know that part. Um, but so things like that, right? But like I said, we pulled out the missile deal, but guess what we did today? We were testing nuclear missiles from California. You know,
We got Danny
so
Glover
I
in the
guess
building.
I guess it worked out for everybody, you know.
Mr.
Um,
Global Warming. Here comes Mr.
yeah.
Global Warming.
So I guess it worked out for everybody, man. But like I say, he's doing some good things. He inherited a good country. He didn't inherit a bad. Now President Barack Obama, like people talk about President Trump's economy. I don't hear people giving President Barack Obama his credit.
Nah,
He had to start
he
working
yeah.
the recession before he even became
Yeah,
president.
he
He did a lot, man. I
if
don't know
you're
if people remember 2007, 2000, but
yeah.
before he even became president, he was already in the Senate. He had to work it to do all. Him and John McCain was running against each other. They had to have an agreement of how they were going to turn around the country and the things that they were doing prior to their presidency, if they were going to keep them in place once they got there, because that's how important it was. You know?
Yeah, if you're comparing the improvements that Obama made when he took over office to, his first 4 years of his first term ending, compared to how Trump did taking the office from Obama, um, Obama did percentage wise significantly way more. I'm not denying that. But my whole point is it didn't go downhill with Trump. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's still improving. Now, at the same time, a lot of decisions that these presidents make is not something that you typically see immediately, the repercussions of it. You'll probably see it, a couple of years, 4 to 8 years after on
Yeah,
how
they lagged. The
how,
economy lags.
yeah, how it affects people. It's not something you'll see. So he may be doing things right in the economy or the country's running well, but in the next 4 to 8 years, we'll see what really takes place off of the decisions that he made. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a double-edged sword in a kind of way, but he's definitely in the short term or within the last 4 years not making things worse. He's done a lot of good as well.
Oh yeah, I agree. I appreciate him, doing this thing. Even this, like even I didn't like when I started my own business and stuff. I'm like, well, hey man, you got to strike what iron's hot, right? So
Boy,
you got to get in there, man, because it's out there for the taking. You talking about business credit, opportunities, properties, and stuff out there, man. Banks giving away that money. They give you the opportunity to get out there and get it if you really want to make something of yourself. So if you get smart on the tax law, it's not that rich people don't pay more taxes. Rich people read the tax code so they don't pay more taxes. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're circumventing the law. They just know the law, and capital gains tax is naturally less than income tax.
Right.
So they're putting their money in certain conduits so they pay less, and which we out here we can easily do as well. But a lot of people don't have the knowledge, so you can't play the game if you don't know the rules to the game.
Shout out to Mr. G, man.
Facts.
That's the question for you right here, Mr. Zaba. Can you see it
Okay, let me see. Explain this position
on the
on.
Central Park?
Oh my gosh, man,
Yeah,
that's a
I didn't want to
very
bring it up. I didn't want to
cool
bring it up.
question. I think that I mean, nobody in their right mind would say that Trump has not basically put himself out there as a I don't want to say the bad word, but a donkey by accusing these brothers, and then when the brothers found out that they were innocent, Trump still goes in at these brothers. It's amazing that a person and would support just that. A man accusing these brothers after all they have gone through, and to continue to berate and undermine these brothers instead of really attacking the system or dealing with the system, you know, and anybody that would support Trump. I mean, I didn't support Obama or any president on anything, but when you're wrong, you're wrong. I mean, this dude took out an ad talking about basically killing these guys. Then comes up and the guys aren't wrong. I, I, I mean, Trump supporters, I can't understand when it's clear as a MF day. People still trying to defend him when it's clearly this is not right. You know, with him even accusing Obama of being born in another country, which was crazy.
No, it's not.
And okay, you know what? I'll say this: if that isn't crazy, I, I won't even talk to a person that's crazy because I got enough sense to talk to. Look, I'm not calling anybody crazy, but that's a conversation that is below my intelligence. It is below my intelligence. I will not engage in a conversation if Obama is not American. That to me is so below. That's like Jerry Springer conversation. That's like somebody sending me a video of somebody fighting. I'm like, that's below my intelligence. I won't engage in that. I just won't. I will not do that.
So why he won't show his taxes? People saying why he won't show his taxes.
I mean, I'll answer that.
Good question, Gator.
I'll answer that. Here's number one. Like, and I mean, and I'm not trying to be insulting, Gator. Here's number one. Number one is he's not legally obligated to show his taxes. That's actually within his right, regardless of past presidents doing that to, sway the public or have the public, on their side or act like they're not hiding anything. That's their prerogative if they want to do that. They're not obligated to do that, but they made that choice to do that. That's part one. He's not obligated to do that. It's not a law. It's not mandatory. The second part to that is, in my opinion, I believe it will help to educate the uneducated, because they will find out how they can write things off. They will find out how they can actually go and not pay taxes as well. That's the second part to that I believe.
So he telling
So
them.
so how is it? So they about to get them taxes. I think it's at the Supreme Court right now. If he got it, so every appeals court then said it all the way up to DC. So now it's at the appeals court. Does he have to release them? I'm not sure when they gonna have the decision, but it's up there right now.
I mean, I might be wrong, but to my knowledge, there's no law that states that he has to release his taxes to the public.
They got slick. They got slick about it though. They got slick. So what it is the accounting company that does President Trump taxes has his taxes,
right?
And they are asking for those taxes under the guise or the the probable cause is to see if there was any Russian collusion. So they're using that to say, well, hey, we got one more thing we need to check because Paul Manafort and them was getting this money, they was doing that stuff. So we want to see if any of that money was pushed over to the Trump campaign or to President Trump. So we need those taxes to see that. So that's the way they're going to get the taxes.
And think about your response. Your response is because he's not, that's the response. He's not legally obligated, and it will show other people how to circumvent taxes. That's your real response.
Yeah, I truly believe that. That's exactly. I believe that.
It's funny to me.
But Zaba, let me Zaba, let me.
That to me is like, because basically by saying it'll show other people how to circumvent, it's kind of implicating Trump.
No, wait. It's not. Here's the thing. It's not implicating because, and like I said, I don't know his taxes.
Against the law.
I don't know his taxes. But what I'm saying is, if he has the accountant, if he has the CPA, and they're doing everything according to the law for somebody who has businesses like him, for somebody who has the assets like him, and is managing it properly, he's not breaking the law at all. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can legally not pay taxes, but there's certain things you have to do. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, and this is the way the world works in every economy. Like, if like I will not be who I am if you know what I know. Do you see what I'm saying? I have to know more than you to be where I'm at, or to be above you, or to have you at a certain state. This is not something people want everybody to know. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so it's not that he's implicated himself in something because he's doing something illegally. It's because I don't want you to acquire the knowledge that I have, so you can find out how not to pay $10 million in taxes.
Shout out to Mr. Perez. Well, y'all stop for a second. Appreciate the super chat, man. He says, ask the people in Atlantic City if Trump is a good businessman. There's a reason why he's not showing his taxes.
Yeah,
Anybody want to tackle that?
We're talking about that right now. We've been talking about it about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know about the taxes.
Let me ask you this, right? He shut down a lot of properties in Atlantic City. All right, great. If people want to judge his business acumen by that, then we need to hold places like Walmart or Target or numerous other multi-billion-dollar corporations that lay off like 500 employees, or shut down certain stores in certain areas, whatever, because it's not producing, it's not making money. Losing is part of business. Losing is part of the game. It's part of the game.
They were saying he didn't pay some of them people for their service.
I don't know. I don't know about all of that.
Yeah, he got lawsuits in there. So the last tax thing that he got jammed up in was with his casino in Atlantic City, where he didn't have enough money to cover the taxes. I think it was like 3.56 $1 million. So what he had his dad do, he got the money from his dad. His dad sent the bag man to his casino and bought like $3.5 million or $1.5 million in poker chips or whatever. Just gave the money to the casino, walked away, didn't cash him in. Then when Trump went to pay the bill, he found out it wasn't enough. So he sent them back over there with like about 60 more thousand just to have a cash influx, which is against the law in New Jersey. And they hemmed him up for that. So a lot of people are saying it's instances like that they will see in his taxes. And what they're trying to look for with Paul Manafort is, if Paul Manafort paid off Stormy Daniels for President Trump, and then President Trump paid his lawyer, but then he wrote it off as a lawyer expense, is tax evasion. And that's what they're looking for in his taxes, because they saying, well, who paid him off? Well, I paid him off for President Trump, and then President Trump paid him back to me. So they say, well, we need to see about Russian collusion, and we need to see how did he write off that tax amount that year that he gave him that money. Did he just take a loss, or did he write it off as tax lawyer fees with his business? And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for collusion, and they're looking for tax evasion. So that's why it's at the Supreme Court for the accounting office saying, hey, we'll release the taxes If the judge say we got to release him, we go release him. But President Trump's lawyers they've appealed it. The appeals and the high district court said he got to release him, so he appealed it up until the Supreme Court, and now they're going to make a decision if their accounting office has to release his taxes or not. So people are looking for those inconsistencies in his taxes. Of course, people want to see if he really worth the money that he's worth. People want to see if he's paying his fair share of taxes. I don't believe nobody's paying no more taxes than they have to. You know, that's just what I believe.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's an issue. I'm gonna pay less if I could pay less. You know,
especially if I could do it legally.
Exactly. So that part I ain't really concerned about. You know, but that tax evasion, yeah, they go that. It's one of those un-American things, but I think everybody be trying to not pay tax. So I don't think it's going to get the results that a lot of people possibly looking for.
Big boss. Did he promise to show his taxes in 2016 after the election, after his audit?
I don't remember that.
Nah, he did.
I don't
remember he saying they were being audited. I don't know if he said he promised he's showing, but he said I'm being audited right now. I can't show him.
I don't remember if he promised that he was going to show it. I know he stated he had no problem showing it. He made it seem like it really wasn't a problem.
Right.
And then after he got elected, everything changed up.
You know, there's evidence out here where Donald Trump in his first 100 days he broke 80 promises and kept 7. But even if you disagree with the numbers, I don't think Big Boss or anybody on the panel could disagree that he hasn't kept an ass of promises. Y'all ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna say he kept a lot of. You would not go there. Am I right?
I would say he kept some.
I would absolutely.
I
wouldn't say some. I'm saying he broke a lot of promises. Is what I'm saying.
I would say he kept from what he ran on. He kept a good majority.
Right.
And that was one of the big discrepancies with him and other presidents. Most presidents, you don't govern how you campaign.
Right.
But president, because most of them say, yeah, but do this. But then when you get in there, you actually get behind the veil and you get the top secret intel briefs, and then you
I understand that. I understand that.
But he has so I can say what he didn't do.
Like, hey, y'all think Mexico gonna pay for the wall?
Nah, I never believed that.
Nah, I never.
What the hell was what the hell was he talking about? Any fool could see that. What the hell was Trump talking about?
And Hillary didn't get locked up. She's still out here kicking.
Yeah.
Okay. Ain't nobody answered. What was he talking about when he was like, "Oh, Mexico gonna pay for the wall"?
Yeah, it sounds good.
It just sounds
talking out his ass.
He said the administration would have a hacking report in 90 days. He talked about would impose new Secretary of State ethic rules. I mean, he promised so many damn things.
Transparency.
Yeah. He promised to deregulate drilling technologies. I mean, he promised to rescind executive actions. I mean, and the list goes on.
Hey, I know Explorer Click
on this. I know nobody on this panel is going to try to tell me Donald Trump didn't break a lot of promises. But Gator, in respect to your point, Gator. Well, I done told you about 5 things. I can tell you about 30 more, boss, if you want me to. I don't think it's necessary, but if I have to dig into your butt a little bit to make my point, I will.
Well, go ahead.
I'm telling you, I can keep going. Keep going.
Go ahead.
Your
emotion doesn't move me. Your emotion.
No, I'm not. But I am speaking facts.
Okay.
I am speaking facts. I mean, tell me a fact I haven't spoken yet. I'll wait. I'll wait for the crickets.
I wasn't paying attention. You're talking for yourself, so I'm sure you believe what you say.
Tell me. See. Now, what you just did was try to say what I said wasn't true. Now, instead of saying, Zaba, what you said wasn't fact, you started saying you believe what you believe.
Right.
That is no way to have a debate, boss.
Do you not?
No, what I'm saying is, I'm telling you facts. Are they true? I asked you the question. I asked you the question first. And instead of you going, well, nah, this isn't true. You didn't do that. You start talking about some other stuff. Of you believe what you believe. Did Trump promise a death penalty for cop killers by executive order? Did he not promise that? And you know as well as I do. You know as well as I do. He one of the weakest presidents. If Obama wasn't any better on these cops killing folks.
Yes.
Now you have to.
That's why
you can't.
That's why I disagree with Trump on those type of issues.
Right, but what I'm saying, man, when you debate with people, you gotta attack their points. You can't say, "Well, do you believe what you believe?" That's not attacking my point.
I'm not debating with you. Who said I'm debating with you? I'm letting you talk.
Oh, okay. Well, it don't sound like you saying nothing.
I'm not. I wasn't.
I mean, he promised so many things. But again, Gator, in defense of what you're saying, I do think a lot of these people come into office and they'll make these promises of things, and their intentions may be well, but then they get into the office and they see, it's not as easy as they thought it might be. So I take that in consideration.
Yeah, I agree with that
too. I mean, and that's in defense of Trump. I mean, that's in defense of Trump.
It's like
but no president has been sued more than him on racism charges.
Well, I don't know about all that, but
wait a minute. Now you know he's been sued a lot on
he been
okay,
sued
so
for a lot of
I don't know of any other president has been sued more than he has.
Anybody want to answer this question right here? Shout out to Mr. G. Anybody want to answer that?
Oh,
he meant Congress. Congress.
You said,
can he be charged after leaving office? Yes, 2020.
You said, can he or will he? Yeah, of course, a president can.
Yeah.
Will he?
Yeah, but will he? Will he? Yeah, that's the question.
Usually presidents are off limits.
Yeah.
I think, but when President Trump leave office, he will be the first one to not be quiet. You see how all these presidents, you be like, wonder what he at. George Bush, Clinton, Carter, like not Carter, but like George Bush, Clinton, and President Obama. Like, you don't hear all this stuff going. You don't hear them out there comment. I think President Trump, he could be like he's still in there every day. He could be in the mix,
Right.
Hey, boss, is that a MAGA hat you got on, bro?
Yeah. Make America great again.
Yeah, boss wilding with that.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
Damn. Okay. All right, but how would you answer, when T.I. responded to a girl, what was so great? How would you answer that question? I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, boss?
No.
When it was a couple of weeks ago with some girl and T.I. just basically said, when was America great? And so how would you respond to that, boss?
When was America great? I would say probably about 30 years ago, like in the 70s and 80s, like after World War II, around that time.
Why? What made America great?
What makes America great is our Constitution and our opportunities. That's what makes us great.
Man, we was like in the 70s. We was like what? About 5 years removed or so from Jim Crow. I don't think that's too great. Because MLK got killed 64?
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to know. I'd have to know what are they speaking about specifically about making America great. If they're talking about just as a whole country,
yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough question.
That is.
Most people say
what a lot of people do, especially us, when you hear it, that general statement, make America great. So then you say, well, what period was it great? They associate it with the condition of Black Americans during that time.
But here's the
Slavery, was America great during Jim Crow?
but here's the thing. Here's the thing though, and this is why it's a difficult thing to answer, because if you're talking about a whole country dominating economically, industrially,
Right.
America was great during the time that it was actually oppressing the most people. If we're taking if we're taking emotions out of it, period.
Right.
America was the great during the time that it was oppressing people the most, which is it's sad to say, but that's when the country was actually great. Do you see what I'm saying?
Wow, that is interesting.
But the thing is, it's sad because that's really what makes it not great. But that's like when you're comparing to other countries, it was during this time it was actually great, and that's sad.
And that's why I say it can't always be about money.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
we had a whole lot of money when we had people creating
Working
great
for free.
adventures like the cotton gin and things
Right.
like that actually pushed America to economic power through cotton, through trade, and
Right.
through the free labor, that brought on the Rockefeller Carnegies and things like that and the Vanderbilts. But it was like in the worst way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so you really got to balance that with, well, okay, well, was America great? Well, was it great for the majority in America? Or was America, which represents all people, can everybody say, yeah, this was a
I mean,
great
when you
point in
got
time for us?
millions of people giving you free labor, I mean, my gosh, your country, I mean, America became established and became great off the backs of free labor. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of European countries became great as a result of oppressing other people. I mean,
Right.
after World War, I mean, you got to figure, and if colonization and then slavery wasn't enough, I mean, if slavery were not enough, and 1831, when they had the Berlin Conference, when they divided up Africa, they began to colonize all these places all over the world. And so, as a result of all that money, not only from slavery and colonialism, this is how these white countries can say, make this country great again. Because
Correct.
when we talking about, as for Black people,
It was
I'm wondering,
never great.
when has it been great for us?
It was never great.
When
I
has it
think they
been
say
great
during
for us?
the time it was greatest for us was like right after the Civil War, when we had basically when our big skill pool entered into the economic workplace. Like when people would leave from slavery and you had carpenters and they were going out there and they were
You
creating
might be
things like
right, Gator.
Black Wall Street. They say that was probably the best when we were owning homes and things like that. We didn't have all the
You're right.
rights,
Yeah,
but that was the
for Black
most
America.
prosperous time for Black people at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they say like right
Yep.
after the Civil War, but at the same time, one of the things that we hold near and dear to our heart, a lot of people with jobs, is unions, right? But that was the main reason that unions came along, because you had the skilled workforce coming out there and they wanted to protect the majority
Yeah.
jobs and stuff like that. So that's how all those things start to become birth and other laws. And well, if you go do this job, do you have this certification? And that's how they start to push our people back out again. And
And I
then
think, go ahead, Big Eddie.
no, go ahead. I'm done.
But I think too, you're right, man. That's very interesting. And then also, when you really, a very interesting statistic, the closer you get to the institution of the enslavement of our people, the more families intact that we had. If you look at, biological fathers in the house closer to 1865 is when slavery ended, then you will find more fathers in the house. And as we came to the 60s, the 70s, you find it less and less and less. Actually, and that is also true for white folks. Also, we always talk about the destruction of the Black family and how racism, but why white people can't stay married? I mean, they're not close, but they always been behind us in reference to being married and being apart. I mean, there are a lot of houses amongst white people where biological fathers are not in the house. But when we say, I think this is the thing, I think, boss, when Black people are saying when has America been great for us? Because that's the thing we identified with. We were, anybody that isn't more concerned about their kids got a little sickness going on, because certainly white folks are concerned about their situations more so than they worried about ours. White folks don't walk around and be like, well, they may say it, but in their actions, they go, what about my children? What about my family? What about my job? They think in terms of, and I've said this before, they think in terms of teamwork of themselves. They got us saying, well, all people. They don't say that, or they don't behave that way. Let me change that. They don't behave that way. They
Well,
work
us
as a
as a
team.
community, we always been very inclusive of others.
Yes. Yes.
We're always like that. When we talk about rights, we said civil rights. We never said black rights. And we talk about affirmative action. We went and fought for everybody. So all the Chinamen that were building the
Exactly.
railroad, for all to make them come across the border, they were in the streets getting hosed down and ate up by dogs to get rights for everybody. But they would tell you affirmative action. The most people that benefited from that have been white females.
That's
They
right.
benefited
That's
most
right.
from affirmative action. So,
I agree.
but we have been, we always have been a loving and giving and very forgiving people. You know what I mean?
And
Um,
it's always
Oof, boy, you hit
it's
that on the
played
head right there.
and it's played to our downfall.
You hit that on the head right there.
so, but
Yeah.
I think it's just it's kind of like when you've been through something and you seen your parents and generation from generation see that hardship and know how hard it is to get along, it's going to your struggles naturally make you compassionate. But when
Yeah.
you've always
Yeah.
been at the top, it's easy to say, well, you need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. But I say, yeah, Johnny, that's cool that your daddy worked at the mill and went drinking with the boss every Friday. So when you got out of high school, they just walk you into the job. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But the boss,
Yeah.
the true
Go ahead.
boss don't talk to the workers, right? So in my community, that really ain't happening like that. And that's that big push where they were going around that Rust Belt, and that's what that whole Rust Belt was about. Like those tire plants closing down, those coal plants closing down, those sheet metal plants closing down. Those were generational jobs where people with no
Yeah.
skills, but they could walk through their family generation through generation. They could stay in those towns and never move, and they never had to go to school and learn anything. But now they
But
got to compete with automation and stuff. And now it's like, well, we gonna bring these jobs back.
right.
No, they're
But
not.
Gator, I'm gonna say an interesting point here, and I don't know, I don't hear it too much. Uh, we tend to equate, and this is, very few people can explain why white people are getting divorced so much. But I will say this. I will say this. When I think, I generally kind of believe there's an anthropological and and an economic variable to why families aren't together, and I think families being together is pretty much like the cell of a society. I think for a society to be great, that kind of has to happen. And when you look at an agricultural society, and then you look at any agricultural society in the world right now, or pastoral type society, you will find people together more. Now, when those societies become agricultural, then less people tend to be together. You can look at any society in the world and see that. Now, when you had those two world wars, you had an industrial type society. In between, and at the beginning and between those two world wars, there were a lot of jobs. As an industrial society, a lot of women began to go to work, and you began to see less people be married. Now we have what might be considered a micro society, where a woman can kind of take care of herself. And you can even see poor countries going into this situation. You even see less and less people together, and this is going across the board in many countries. You see this, including Japan, including China. You see how economics and affects family structure.
I agree.
I mean, you can even look at our society right now. Let's say the guys who are making 80,000 or 100,000 or more, but rarely without. For the most part, more of them are probably going to be married than guys who are making less than 20. So there's an economic variable to it.
Yeah. Well, we got Trump.
But
He gonna get everybody making over 80,000.
now,
Get us
boss,
booming.
if you had a hat that said "Make Black America, make America Great Again" for Black people, also, you get a lot more respect.
Yeah.
Because Trump ain't talking about Black people, bruh.
Yeah,
In my
he's
opinion,
talking about America.
that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I understand. I think he's talking about America. So
I mean,
would-
I will say this to that comment, because you said you don't think he's talking about black people. I don't think he's talking about all white people either, though.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this. Like,
well,
I don't
Constitution. I have to give you that.
Yeah.
You might be right about that.
I'm pretty objective. Like, he has the individual done some suspect things, and is he on? Does he have court documents saying he does some suspect things? I think his loyalty is to that money. That's like, if you just in the way, you in the way. You know what I mean? If you're in the way, you're in the way. He's just about that money.
I think so. And I heard y'all talking about. I would really like to go back to it. I'm one of the people that believe Trump may be reelected again too.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Did you guys see the special when Dave Chappelle made a joke and he was talking about how poor people support Trump, and he was saying, white people were cheering and cheering, and then he goes, "That ain't for y'all, poor white people. He's for me. He ain't for y'all." Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was poignant.
Yeah, I think I think he looks at poor white people the same he looks at black people. I definitely think that he's racist, but and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think anything's wrong with anybody being racist, to be honest with you. But I definitely think he's racist, but I think at the same you see, as I don't know, because like I say, I don't think it's wrong for me to think I think black people are more superior than white people, but I think it's wrong to say, you know what, because you're white, you can't drink from this fountain or you can't eat at this restaurant. Like,
so you say oppression, racism is not wrong, but oppression is wrong.
Correct. I disagree with oppression. I think oppression is wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think racism is wrong. I think racism is actually good for your race. It helps you elevate your race, because if you feel that you're better, you have to do stuff and maintain stuff that keeps you feeling or thinking that you're better. So that's going to mean your race needs to stay on top of their education, on top of their finances, on top of their resources, on top of their family, on top of their community. It helps you not go down. But for me to be like, you can't live here because you're black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you're Asian, I'm gonna give you a higher interest rate because you got more melanin in your skin. I disagree with that. And I think the problem is people confuse racism and oppression, because a lot of people who are racist oppress other races, but it doesn't mean they have to be one and the same. I think it's healthy to be racist.
But Constitution, this is the thing, right? And this is where I get lost on people talking about racism. I think before, like, if we were talking about like a cat, we would have to have a working definition of what a cat is before we could have an intelligent conversation on what a cat is. In reference to, and I don't use the word racism. I mean, I try not to. If I'm trying to explain it, I don't, because it means, it's kind of like, like love. If you try to explain love to a person, their definition gonna be different, your definition gonna be different, and the conversation gets so too convoluted. So I would say I would probably ask you, Constitution, what is racism before we are able to talk about it. What is that? What is it? Because I use the word, but like I said, when I'm trying to explain, I don't use the word. But what would you say racism is?
I think it's we had travel data scientists on the show the other day, and I would believe racism is the actual, like he said, the systematic, like the institution of utilizing things or doing things that keeps your race superior to other races, races, by practicing whatever it is that you're practicing, or utilizing whatever's institutionalized, to oppress others. So I would say that is the institution of racism. It's you practicing the act of being a racist. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, but it doesn't include. I can think of so many situations in reference to where people may oppress people, and it may not fit that narrative. Like for instance,
No. Well, here's the
uh,
thing. Here's the thing. People oppress people all the time. Do you see what I mean?
yeah,
But oppressing them due to the race is something different. You see what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
if I'm specifically oppressing you because I feel that my race is superior than yours, there's a difference than me just oppressing you because I'm a fucked up person and I don't care what color you are.
hmm,
Do you see what I'm saying? Like you're
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
you're, you're specifically targeting that race. That I don't
Oh,
agree with.
I keep saying Constitution is Eskimo. God damn. But I don't know because, like for instance, Gator, what's your thought on it, Gator?
I see what he's saying, but I think so. By definition, I think you're right. When you talk about what is a is, like we talk about what is a violinist, that means somebody who's competent in a violin, pianist. What is a machinist? So what is a racist? You know what I'm saying? When you start to look at it that way. But there are things that racist people do that maybe they don't have any power. When we say you may be a racist person, but you don't have any power, but they can do
Right.
things that's disrespectful or trigger things that are us that's outside the norms of our society, like calling the N-word, calling people monkeys or chinks and chinos and wops and wetbacks,
Mm-hmm.
like stuff like that. Like there's triggers out there that racist people can say to others, you know. But do they have any true power? Nothing other than probably disrespect you. Now, if you're on a job or something, or you're going to get a loan, now you messing with my livelihood and my quality of life. Or if you're a police officer policing in the opposite race community and you abusing your power because you're a racist, right? To advance yourself or to tear apart that community, that's a problem, you
So,
know.
boss, what you think, bro?
What a racist is?
Yeah.
Racism, prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior.
But see, this it doesn't explain. When you say the term racism, it has to include like everything, right? Like, what is this? Like when black people feel, or a little girl feels she's ugly because of her skin.
Hmm.
That's a good
You
point.
see what I'm saying?
That's a good
I
point.
mean, when you when you
Would that
when
be
you
self-hate?
go,
Would
it's
that be
more
racism?
of, it's like I think I was reading it, like Roger. It is the entire system. It is the entire system. Racism is this: is you have one group of people that can shoot another group of people consistently in the back and say they had a gun.
Mm-hmm.
A room full of a school full of white teachers and all black students. You see what I'm saying? They ain't trying to do nothing. It's the system. The language that we speak.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy from Kenya. His name is Ngugi wa Thiong'o. He wrote a book called Decolonizing the Mind, and he focused on the system. It's not necessarily always a person. It could be the whole system, from the language you speak to just everything.
I agree.
So now let's get back to Trump. Now, in reference to, is he, I don't use the word. I won't use the word. has Trump done some fucked up shit to black people? I do it like that. I say it that way. Now,
Central Park
I
5,
would be.
yeah, that was bad. The Central Park
I
5
would.
was
Well,
bad.
I got a couple of more in my mind here now. The Justice Department sued Trump not once but twice. Now we may say, I'm kind of the mindset of where there's smoke there is fire. For not renting to black people.
Right.
Okay,
I was
this
gonna
is
bring that up.
true. He
I was gonna
wasn't
bring that
renting
up.
to black people.
Mhm.
And so this pattern of discrimination throughout his career, in my honest opinion, kind of points to him treating black people messed up.
Mhm.
He remember when them white supremacists ran them people over. He refused to even condemn them, man.
No,
He
he did. He
he
condemned it.
refused.
No,
He keeps
no,
He
even
went on
though
TV a couple
even
days
though
later. Did
even
no, he
though
did.
the
Yeah,
next
even
day? The
though
next day he
yeah.
went
even
on
though
TV the next day
No,
and did.
so I'm gonna stop you there.
even though
He condemned him. He condemned him.
no, well, he did. He condemned
He did.
both sides. Well, you know what I'm
He
saying. He was
condemned.
being facetious,
So, so,
and I
so
think most people's mind.
I'm gonna stop you from saying it and running
I
over. Full stop. He condemned him. Now keep going.
Okay, and I repeat it. He
Okay.
said he condemned both sides, which in most people's mind, he was being facetious.
No, he condemned race supremacy. He condemned white supremacy.
Okay, now I'm ready to listen. Now, I don't know if he did or not. I'm asking
He
you.
did it.
I'll
He
bring
did it.
it
Now
up
you can say if it's
because
Okay,
heartfelt or
I
was it.
showed the video on my page. He did. But I'll bring it up now.
yeah,
I'll bring it up now
yeah.
because I know that's the
Um,
He
that's
about
the
to go
talking point.
Candace Owens
I,
on Candace
I
Owens
know
always
that's the
do that.
okay,
talking point of the left to say that he didn't do that, but he did.
Yeah.
okay,
And Candace
okay.
Owens, she jump all over you, boy. You say that. Where's she at now, man? She been in hiding.
She has a
He
show. I don't know.
actually he
She
Yeah,
has
she
a
made
show.
that comment.
he
She made that
actually
comment
he
about Adolf
actually
Hitler. That's what
he
got her off
actually
there.
with his energy towards the Central Park Five, he literally was encouraging mob violence towards these folks, man. Um, uh, he condoned the beating of a Black Lives protester where they physically attacked a black dude. And they have a video where they were kicking the guy and everything. His dismissive attitude is very troubling, bro.
I agree.
And
Hey, boss, you agree on
I
that?
disagree. No, I disagree.
he's
Uh,
he constantly has stereotyped Jews, and he's man, come on, bro.
what I will
Well,
say is
anyway,
His daughter is married to a Jew.
well. This is what I
well,
think.
so were so many slave owners.
This is what I think is I was in a way saying. He is most definitely for the office that he is holding. He is not presidential at all.
All right. You agree, Big Boss?
No,
Big boss, you wild.
presidential as what?
We're talking.
He is president. So presidential as what?
Okay,
He's
all
in
right.
the office club.
I understand what you're saying. You want to get
So
you want to
yeah,
get analytical with it.
he's supposed to act like Obama.
No, that's not what I'm saying. He doesn't
Trump,
He
act.
could
Trump
never.
acts like Trump,
He.
Never.
and
What I'm
he's in
saying
the
is
office.
he doesn't carry the professionalism as any of his predecessors. That's the best way I could put it.
So he don't act like everybody else. So he acts like himself. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, listen.
He don't act like. I would tell you this,
understand
Big
that.
Boss.
I
Big
understand
Boss.
what
He
you're
don't
saying.
act like. He wouldn't act like nobody that could come around us and not get punched in the mouth.
That's
That's what I was saying.
that's
Nobody. And I know
the
you, Big
basic
Boss.
way to
I
put
be
it.
That's
around you,
funny.
and I know
That's funny.
everybody on this panel.
That's
Like
funny.
we couldn't be around nobody like that and
Yeah,
be looking at them like, man, if you keep talking, we gonna punch you in the mouth.
that's
You know what I mean?
that's the best way to put it.
That's
You
funny.
know what I'm saying? Like that's the best way to put it.
That's funny.
He's definitely not what we are accustomed to seeing and hearing. He's for the office he's holding. He's definitely not.
Well, I would just say a lot of people tied into the norms of society, right? The decency of human interaction and changeability between relations within humans, how you act. His wife's, the first lady always has a campaign. What is her campaign? She's against cyberbullying. Could you imagine that?
And 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 and
Could
and,
you
and,
imagine
Now,
that?
and this dude and
yeah,
this and this dude has went on Twitter talking about punching like people in the face, bro.
w- but
For people who
this is
deserve
the
it, though. For
this
people
is
who
the
deserve
thing.
it.
This is the thing, though. This is important too. Like President Obama released his birth certificate. Trump has not released his taxes yet. I
Yeah,
mean,
but that birth
but
certificate was doctored, though. That
this
birth
is the
certificate was
thing.
doctored.
So
It's fake.
wait a minute. Are we gonna be that ridiculous? Are you really gonna take me down that rabbit hole? Because I'm gonna tell you a new one.
Okay.
I'm telling you now, boss.
Am I
You my
really,
man.
am I
You
really,
my man.
are you
You my
really trying to
man.
threaten me? It's
But bruh, if you
fake.
try to say Obama faked a birth certificate,
Yeah, it was fake.
like, but
The
again,
long,
that's that.
the long, the
Okay,
long
that's
form
that
is
Jerry
fake.
Springer stuff. I can't respond to that. That's too silly. It's just too silly.
I
Let's
thought
move
you
on to the next
really
thing.
gonna tell me a new one.
No, I can't because
Really?
I just realized Zaba, you don't go there because it's too silly to
Yeah, I
So
would
Big
say
Boss,
for the
you
get
think
I thought
he
there.
you
got an
really
office?
gonna tell me a new one.
You think he got an
Well,
office with a fake birth certificate?
Yeah, with
So
the
that
long, the
I'm gonna,
long, the long form,
I'm gonna tell,
the long
I'm gonna
form
tell
that
you
he
like,
released is fake.
I'm gonna tell you like Richard Pryor would tell you. That nigga's crazy, man.
So hold on. So hold on. Wait. So let me get this straight. So I have a question, boss.
Mm-hmm.
So the earliest photos that we have of him being
Mm-hmm.
in school in
Right,
a school located in the United States
right.
go back how far?
We said born. We not said in school. We said born.
No, I understand that, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying in school. Like, is
yeah.
there any pictures of him in like first grade, second grade, third grade, like in the United States in school?
I don't know, but he has one. He's like in the sixth grade or something like that.
So
I mean,
so so I want to understand your premise. So you're saying that he was born outside of the United States.
yeah, I
and
believe
he
so.
fraud the whole
I believe he was
government.
born in Kenya.
Well,
It's other people that say that too. It's
So
people in
You
he
Kenya.
know
fraud
what? You know what? You know what? You know
fraud the
what? You
whole
know what?
government.
No, bro. You know how silly this conversation is because even Boss himself would tell you he believed Michelle Obama is a man. So with a guy
A
who talks
tranny,
like that, it's like,
a
okay,
tranny,
come on, man.
a tranny.
boss,
She a
so
tranny?
why do
there's
so what
pictures
Come on,
of her as a little girl.
so this is my thing that I get into with boss sometimes. What makes President Trump, who just come along in politics the last 3 years, right, and everything else we believe is wrong.
High
Everybody
school,
else is wrong.
high
You
school,
had
and some
John
college.
McCain. You had John McCain, POW, war hero, stayed in captivity longer because he wouldn't be released before his friends, and told him he wasn't a
Songbird,
war hero because he was caught. You
songbird.
got, you got, but when it was time for you to go to war, you had bone spurs on your foot. So it's like that. You got gold star families. Like you like it's certain things that should be off limits. Like right, but you feel like if you say something to me, I'm gonna say something to you. I don't care. This 2-year-old come here and step on my foot. I'm gonna kick him in the chest. I don't care. It's like you got. It's like certain stuff ain't worth your attention. Like far as our society, we deal with things on certain levels, but he like it don't matter if you 8 to 80 blind, cripple, or crazy. If you say something to me, I'm coming for you. And I think that's
I'm the
what
same way.
you know. But I think like that's what in our society, right?
Whoa.
That people have an issue with. But the biggest issue I think with is the normalizing of it. I don't think we can coexist in a society like that if everybody takes on that mindset. I don't think we will be a great country if everybody with everything and nobody can say, hey, I'm bigger than that. Or that's a kid, they don't know no better, or they just not understanding, or maybe we just from a different culture. That's why they do it. I don't think we can progress or we will ever be that great country again if we can't elevate to think a little higher. And if everything, hey, a light bulb go out in the house, I'm gonna just burn the whole house down. instead of just replacing the light bulb or just going to another room. I don't think we can live a life going forward like that. And I think that's what most people have an issue with because it's starting to be normalizing. Like you get on, because I'm like that too. So you want a whole world like you? And so every time something happens, somebody cut you off, and everybody jumping out, shooting each other in the street. Well, he said something to me, hey, don't say nothing to my kid. Well, I'm going inside and get my shotgun. And you see what it perpetuates that type of mentality. And when him holding the highest office in the land, it's just like when President Obama went in. If he didn't do anything else, he showed that a black man could make it in the White House. So when people talk about can you make president,
I
we
bet
never
you.
knew. We never knew. But
Right.
just his presence being there alone had that impact. So now what presence is President Trump giving? It's like we're talking about cyberbullying. We got 8-year-old kids committing suicide off things people are saying to each other on the internet. But we have somebody in the highest office in the land normalizing that behavior. So what kind of legacy do you really want to create from a human outreach perspective? Do you just want to be we could be the baddest military, baddest country in the world. We ain't got to go around beating our chests. Because you know why? Because true power hides in plain sight. True power hides in plain sight. You always tell somebody who's not smart, who always say, oh, I'm very smart. I'm very smart. They're usually not that smart. You know? So
Right.
that's the part that when people talk about being presidential, it's like, well, okay, you're the president. You know? And that's why you ain't got to ask another country to investigate your foe. You got the DOJ, you got the FBI, you got the CIA, you got the Senate, you got the House of Representatives Intelligence Committee. So why are you asking them to do you a favor? You the president.
Man,
You got people
It's that
who are
country.
in
That's why.
place to go and do that.
Yeah,
You
but
got people who in
he's
place to go
asking
do
that
that.
country. Yeah, to work
He
with this
definitely can do it.
called
He
joint.
definitely can do it. And
Yeah.
guess what? Barr just flew over there. Giuliani over there. What did he do? Do us this favor and work with Barr. Could have sent Barr over there on his own. He got to do that.
Man, I'm mad.
Easily.
Boss got me googling photos of Michelle Obama as a
But
little
even
girl.
after all of that, he talked about how we was worried about.
But you know what? You know what though? You know what though? You know what
we was
though?
worried about corruption, right? He said we was worried about corruption. But what's the excuse everybody said? Well, they got the money anyway, so I guess they said the hell with corruption after that. so what was it? Were you worried about corruption or you not? Because why they got the money if you worry about corruption?
Oh, because he made sure they're not corrupt. That's why.
Oh, because he said, "Oh no, we're not corrupt." Oh, okay, yeah, go and send the money.
Yeah, that was all we needed.
Yeah,
that's all I need to hear. Okay,
yeah. I mean, this whistleblower got nothing to do with it.
But that's why he sent these people over there too to confirm it. Right.
I mean, but the whistleblower had nothing to do with it either. That was no pressure at all.
Nah, you like, man, get this money out of here, man. They about to get me.
We're going on 2 hours, man.
But this is the thing, though. This is the thing, boss. I don't know, but I'm willing to bet 4 dead bitches. You believe in all kind of UFOs and fucking conspiracy. I'm willing to bet 10 dead bitches in the back of a Cadillac.
I believe in conspiracy theories.
See there? I know your type.
Well, why do you say you know my type? My very first video with Richie Rich was on conspiracy theories.
Right.
I ain't seen it.
So why do you say it as if you read my
Because
mind?
any black man that's sitting up here with a big old red hat on, talking about make America great again, thinking of Michelle Obama as a man, talking about Obama, even though he presented his birth certificate, it ain't real. That's all I need to know. I know you believe in a whole bunch of crazy shit.
Okay. But I don't believe in UFOs though.
But man, I know.
But I have to tell you though, Big Boss, I have to respect you
up, man. So
for
man.
Yeah, I have to respect you for standing up for what you believe, bro.
I'm used to it. I don't know where you at, but I live in California. If you don't know, California is a blue, liberal, Hillary state. And so when I first got my red hat, and even when I wear my Trump shirt, I make sure I go to the most Trump-hating, liberal, lefty, Hillary, Bernie place, and I walk around. So I understand. People want to know why I was so quiet. I'm on here with 5 or 4 or 5 Trump not supporters, and yet I'm on here with my hat, and I'm letting you guys talk. So what are we gonna do? I'm gonna shout over 5 people.
Whoa, wait. Here, hold on, boss.
My hat is what it is, and so
Wait, well, boss, I think you're confusing me. I never said that I was not.
okay. We're 4. We're 4.
I never said I wasn't a supporter.
4.5. 4.5. Because
Three.
like I said before, Shaba got on here, said we had Gator at one extreme, we had you in the middle, and then you have me at the other extreme.
I just asked questions.
I said that
I just be wanting
early
people
on
to ask
before
my
Shaba
answer
got
my
on here.
questions.
Huh?
I said, hey, these are my questions. I've just been waiting. I'm still waiting for people to answer my questions. Like, hey man, this is a coincidence. It look bad. So I'm not against. Like I say, the economy is going good, but when people start saying, man, the economy is so great, I'm like, man, when Obama took us out of like straight debt and Ford and Chevrolet and Chrysler and all the places, like they was about to go down. And he
Chevy about
pulled
to
them
go
out, and
down
all the
again.
banks went bad, Lehman Brothers and all of that. And he pulled the whole in the housing market. Now people making millions. You had Uber come to be, Airbnb,
I
all that stuff.
I do disagree with him pulling them out though, Gator. They should have failed. Or they
Chevy
should
going
That's what
down
happened.
now.
That's
They
what we
just
gonna find
announced.
out, Bills.
They
or
just announced they discontinuing some cars now.
or they should have went how Ford did. Ford didn't take a bailout and they brought themselves from the ground up.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, all them companies that took the bailout, they paid their money back with interest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Unlike right now, while we're in this tariff war, right? And all the U.S. farmers across them red states that voted for President Trump, they're losing $2 per bushel. But what are they doing? All the money is on the extra tax from the tariffs that we're paying in Walmart and Target. They're taking that extra money and they're giving it to the farmers for free. And they're talking, and they're all these people running around talking about socialism. And if that ain't welfare, I don't know what is.
Good, well said. Hey, any last words, man? Been 2 hours deep on this joint.
Make
I always
America
enjoy
great
talking
again.
to my bros. Yeah.
Make America.
Well, boss, I always tell you every time I talk to you, I do respect you a lot, man, because you stand up for what you believe and you stay hard. So for that, I'm gonna always give you credit and I'm gonna always give you love for that.
Oh
Any
yeah,
last
I
words,
I
Earl?
appreciate it. Yeah, so I say, man, salute to everybody on the panel. It's always good to come through and have a healthy, intellectual wrestling with each other. That we could all be brothers and still meet up and have a good time. Whether we disagree with policies that's being made or not, but it's best that we give our shout out and help our country as well as our president that same support. Why? Because it don't make no sense for us to be rooting for the pilot to crash when we all on the same plane. You know what I mean? So whether he did what he did or not, that's up to the Senate to do what they got to do. You know what I mean? I hope it ain't true. Everything looks like, I'm not there to see all the dots and I's. I hope it ain't true, but hey, I wish the best. I wish the best for the country overall. Wish the best and good talk with you, brothers.
Yeah, me, I want to say, number one, to Rich, thank you for having me on the panel. With everybody here. Everybody here is definitely intelligent. Difference of opinion. Left, right, middle. And I think the fact that we can all come together and talk about it and have a discussion. Not an argument, but just an actual discussion. Um, and share our thoughts and opinions, with whatever evidence and information we have is always good and informative, and it helps, everyone else, because there's stuff that I personally learned from each person who spoke today. So I think it's great. We should have more panels like this. And other than that, man, and in my defense, just want to say, I'm not Trump. I'm not like a Trump supporter. At the same time, I'm not against them. I'm for whoever, Democrat, Republican, whoever's in whatever party is in office that helps me make my life better. So whether they do something that, affects others, or doesn't affect others, I'm going to utilize what education I have off of what is being done to try to improve my living standard, regardless of who's in office. So that's pretty much it.
Richie Rich. My
Well,
my
oh,
last
go ahead. Go
my
ahead.
last statement is going to be by this guy.
I'm not a racist.
No.
Evil. And those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans. We are a nation founded on the truth that all of us are created equal. We are equal in the eyes of our Creator. We are equal under the law, and we are equal under our Constitution. Those who spread violence in the name of bigotry strike at the very core of America. 2 days ago, a young American woman, Heather Heyer, was tragically killed. Her death fills us with grief, and we send her family our thoughts, our prayers, and our love.
But if
he condemned KKK and white supremacists, said they have no place in America.
But if
now,
you
Trump 2020,
you're going to do what the Democrats do and say when they read the transcript, they're going to infer what they want on it versus the words on the transcript. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with 4 or 5 people about what you mentally think in your brain. Things are said
so the transcript
outright,
only matters.
and you
So
take
you're saying only the transcript matters. Nothing that happened before or after. None of the complaints. None of the money being stopped. None of them saying that yes, we do this all the time. None of that matters. Just that conversation matters.
Well, the conversation and the money was released, and no investigation happened or announced.
Okay. All right.
Everybody said their last words, man.
Yeah, man.
Mr.
Till
Trump
next
said my
time.
last words. So
Till next time.
can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just got a question for boss, and make it real quick. I just want to hear your opinion. The whole situation that took place with Kaepernick and Trump saying,
I disagree with Trump on that. That's another thing I disagree with Trump.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to hear. I wanted to hear about that. Okay.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with Trump going back and forth with Kaepernick. I think you should be able to kneel, especially for the reason that Kaepernick was kneeling for. He was kneeling to show, to bring awareness to white police officers killing unarmed black men. So I disagree with Trump with that.
Okay.
I also disagree with Trump when he's very pro law enforcement and talk about the cops need to bang the people in their head when they put them in the back of the car. I disagree with him on that also. There's many personal things that I disagree with Trump on a point-by-point basis. But what I do agree with Trump on is for all of America to do better economically.
Okay.
A rising tide lifts all boats. And since I live in America, I'm rooting for America.
Amen.
Hey, I can say this last thing. I was gonna show you the video, but I think boss, when you put that up, I think you get a little confused of what people are talking about. People are talking about when Trump said you had very fine people on both sides.
Yeah.
And then he also says that's what people are talking about, not what you posted.
But that's a true statement. When he said fine
Yeah,
people
I agree.
side, he wasn't talking about the neo-Nazis. He wasn't talking about the neo-Nazis.
Okay.
When he said both people on both sides, he was talking about the protesters that was for and against the statues being down. On top of those two sides, you had 4 groups. You had your neo-Nazis, then you had your Antifa. Those two extremes were fighting. He wasn't talking about Antifa, and he wasn't talking about neo-Nazis. He was talking about the protesters that wanted the statue to come down, the people that wanted the statue to come down, and the protesters that wanted the historic statues to stay. Those were the fine people. So what the leftist media makes it seem like he was referring to Antifa and referring to the neo-Nazis. He just said
Okay.
himself that he's not. But like the transcript, people read into to feed their own bias and agenda. The man literally said what he's talking about, but because you don't want to like him, you're going to tell him what he's talking about, even though he just
Man, ain't
explained what he's
nobody.
talking
What do you really think about people words versus their actions? That's why I keep asking you about the action before. And people have testified who were on the phone call that they
about.
purposely left words out of that transcript. They said that under oath in Congress. More than one person who were actually on the phone call. So
Wow.
you know, so that evidence is there. You can go look it up. So like you say, hey, just look at the phone call, and basically they asked Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
were they being pressured while he was sitting right next to Donald Trump? That's like when you held in captive or with your kidnapper. Are they treating you good? Oh yes, they are. Like
Yeah,
it's
right.
like you're not motivated to
So
say anything
of
that's
course,
an
you're not going to say yeah
antagonistic to it.
with the gun to your head. I mean, I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say I think it just the things that led up to it and the things that happened after it, and then the specific omissions from the transcript that
But
we heard that
what happened after it? The money was released. That's what
not
happened after it.
the
And
money was
the
released once
investigation.
the White House got subpoenaed for the whistleblower complaint. That's when it got released. You can go. I can give you the whole timeline with the data
Right.
when how long they had when the whistleblower complaint was actually launched.
Mm-hmm.
When the White House was trying to make the determination, they held it until Congress found out. That's the only time they let it go to Congress when they found out there was a whistleblower complaint in there, and when they knew Congress was getting ready to subpoena them for it, that's when the money was released. They had the money for months.
Right.
So that's the only thing I'm saying. I'm like, hey, you might be right. I'm just saying if you going in court, if that's you and you going to court with that information, you go take a plea or you going to jail.
Yeah, it's gonna look bad on you.
Well, it can look how I want to look, but you gotta have proof. You gotta have proof of a crime, not emotions.
That's true.
If you
That's
don't like
that's true.
somebody,
That's true. That's why I say, hey, but he got his like with
circumstantial,
everybody. Yeah,
circumstantial.
yeah, innocent and to proven guilty. That's what the
Right.
impeachment process for. So if the
Right.
Democrats are
Right.
wrong, he'll be exonerated in the Senate. And hey, we go on. Life goes on, just like after the Mueller report. Life goes on.
Right.
Hey, for real.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But man,
We're
good
rich at.
chat, man. Good
Yeah,
chat.
good chat. I read something. I read something, and I had saved it. It was real interesting. I just read this where it says discussions are better than arguments, because an argument is to find out who is right, and a discussion is to find out what is right.
Mm.
I read that. I was like, dang, I took a screenshot of that. That was deep.
Deep.
But
Oh yeah.
yeah, and I was kind of surprised to hear you saying this stuff you're saying, Gator, because you're supposed to die for the president, bro.
What they got to do with anything? Like I say, I ain't for or against. I say I'm just here asking questions. I can state these facts. So bosses always go argue the for, so I can argue the against. And I'm just arguing the fact. I don't know the man personally, anything like that, and I don't
Hey,
dislike him
but you
personally.
you're not supposed to ask questions, bro. Like he the president. he the
So I just ask
president.
questions. I'm saying, well, why is this happening? What they saying this? What they saying?
Hey,
And that's my only
hey,
position. I
hey,
say, but
listen, but
hey,
that's above your pay grade, bro. Like
that's a fact.
you-
That's above
Well,
all of us right now.
that's
That's
the
why.
civilian
That's
part
why.
of him asking. The civilian part of him asking.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Hey,
that's
yeah, but see, you
but
could do
that.
that in the States. If you was in China, that civilian part of you can't act shit.
Oh yeah.
Well,
China,
shit.
Russia.
If you was in China, a regular civilian can't ask nothing.
Hell no.
Yeah. If
You
we was in
can't.
China, we wouldn't even be on the internet right now.
Hell no. Hell no. You wouldn't.
Because you
So,
can
so things like that is what makes America great. That
Oh, of
that
boss,
course.
we can
come
that,
on.
that we can call Trump a racist. We can call him Hitler. We can call him Orange Man bad, and not be sent to the gulag or some kind of military secret underground facility for disagreeing with the government.
Yeah,
Things
that's
like that make America great.
yeah, but America's not the only country that can do that though.
No, it's not. Okay, but we have that coupled with the greatest military. We have that coupled with our constitution. So there's a lot of things, but America is far from perfect. Far from perfect.
Well, what they say, a number the first right we given, what we the people, we got freedom of speech. And the
Yeah.
second right is to bear arms
Gun.
and let you know we were serious about the first rule.
Right.
You see what I'm
The
saying?
one and two goes together.
Yeah.
One is speech, and number two is gun. And the Democrats are trying to take away folks. Democrats and liberal leftists want to control what you say, and they want to disarm you.
Yeah, I can't give up no guns. Can't anybody stop me talking now. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, man, I hope it all work out. I'm like, well, hey, man, this stuff is looking kind of suspect. So instead of people just running around crazy, just take it to court, and then after that, whatever happened, everybody just shut up by it, just go on by your business. Let this man run the country.
The way I feel about the guns is like, listen, I ain't got no problem giving up. I ain't got no problem giving up the gun if you giving up yours.
Nah,
I wouldn't recommend that.
No,
I'm just saying, like, if that was the case, that would be the only way I'd be willing to give.
Yeah, I wouldn't even do it then. that's off the table. That's not even on the table.
Yeah, it's non-negotiable.
That's non-negotiable. No. That's what happened in Germany. That's what happened in Germany in the late 1930s, and then we know what happened in the 40s right after. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you give up your guns. Next thing you know, you in some kind of camp getting gassed. No, I need my gun, and I need to be able to say what I want to say, and I need my money. I don't need the big government taxing my money to death. The big government taking away my gun. The big government telling me what bathroom I can go to. The big government telling me what I can say. The big government letting all these illegals come here and take my jobs. No.
I think taxes is fair.
I don't. I think not an income tax. I think an income tax, that's part of communism. That's one of the planks of the Communist Manifesto. They call it a graduated income tax. That's part of the Communist Manifesto. We didn't have an income tax before 1913. Income tax is only a little over 100 years old. Prior to 1913, Americans had no income tax, but that was introduced to us in 1913. So a lot of this goes back to conspiratorial things. So my thing is a consistent line. Whether you agree or disagree, that's your opinion with your First Amendment. But in my worldview, a lot of things are it's connected. It goes together.
I hear you.
This is part of the permanent state that Trump is trying to take down.
No, I hear you. I don't know about the income tax thing, so I can't speak on that.
1913, buddy. So in 1912, there was no income tax.
I hear you. Now I can believe it.
Right. So, and you can look it up. A graduated income tax is one of the planks in the Communist Manifesto. So imagine that. So how free are we in this country? But it is what it is.
Pretty free, man.
It is what it is. I mean, a lot of people are going to feel passionate, and they're going to feel what they want to feel, and that's fine. I wasn't going to be on here and argue with 4 or 5 people about your hot, passionate beliefs. You know, I wear my hat. I rock it. It is what it is. Y'all on the internet. I live in California around people who think like you. I walk around them in real life. You guys are just on the internet.
How many people have you been around that think like you, like that's straight conservatives, like in red states? Lot. How many red states you been in?
Like not a lot. I'm not used to being around people who think like me. I'm used to being around people who think like you, my family included. So that toughens and hardens my mind. So I don't care about internet trolls who's on here talking about a big box, blah 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 blah. I mean, because this is at the end of the day, this is real. This is real life. You know, this is real life.
Big box.
Yeah,
Your
but,
So
but
what?
how,
So what?
depend on it.
So
Your money, your finances, your security. This is real life.
so you saying what we're experiencing right now is the fight against globalism and the
Yeah,
new world order, and that's what
correct.
you're honestly cheering for.
Yeah,
That's
the
what you're
fight again.
honestly cheering for.
Yes,
And this and and within the next 5 years, it will be defeated.
I believe so. I hope so. I mean, I
Okay,
can't say 100%, but all signs are pointing to that it will be.
it'll
It,
be
I,
defeated in
yeah,
I,
5 years. So
globalism is going down largely thanks to Trump. Well, Trump is basically the figurehead for it. He can't take all the credit, but he's the figurehead. He's the poster child of it. But
yeah.
it's a mass movement. It's a mass populist movement. Is
Hmm.
and that's and think about it. That's why the terms are opposite. You have globalist and you have nationalist, but you have the media will portray nationalists as only racist. Nationalist must mean a white supremacist KKK. That's not what nationalists mean. Even if you have common sense and you look at the word, nationalists are talking about a nation. So
So do
why
you think do you think
do you think the
nationalism?
nation is Ku Klux Klan?
But
But
do
that's
you
how the
think
media
nationalism will
portrays.
breed isolationism for us as a country?
No, not isolationism. That we can work together in trade and we can come together, but it won't be homogenized. It won't be homogenized under a world government, a central world top down government that's based on communistic goals and values. The Illuminati New World Order is their backbone, their spine is based, their skeleton, their DNA is basically the Communist Manifesto. That's why we have traces of it in our government now, especially where the deep state is involved. Where the deep state is involved, it's going to be largely left. What is communism? Leftist. This all goes together. It all ties together, but it comes out like separate, but really it's together. So
Mm. But the but
the
the
the new world order
economies
is
that
left.
you've
It's not
experienced,
right.
but the best economies that you've experienced in your lifetime have been Democratic presidents, President Clinton and President Obama. So that doesn't support your argument on data when you talk about economies
Right.
and
Well,
socialism.
and
And
so well
and
but then
currently
again,
we're having a lot of
Bill Clinton,
socialism,
Bill
like
Clinton is Bill
what
Clinton was not a
manufacturing
socialist though.
plants and stuff like that.
But Bill Clinton is not a socialist. Bernie Sanders is a socialist, but Bill Clinton
Mhm.
is not Bernie Sanders.
But Bill
Hell,
Clinton was a leftist, right?
Hillary Clinton is not a Bernie Sanders. That's why they ran against each other. So you have different flavors. You have different flavors
But
of the
they're
left.
leftists, right? But they're from
Yeah,
the left.
but you have different extremes. You have far left, medium left. I mean, you have different flavors. That's why Hillary
Okay.
Clinton ran against Bernie.
Hmm.
So there's two different camps. And even
So
now,
not all leftists. It
you
sounds
even
like you
have
were
the more
saying
extreme camp of the AOC crowd.
yes. So,
So
it sounded like you were saying all leftists were
all,
socialists. That's what you were saying. That would have sounded like you were saying.
all,
that is
all.
what he's saying.
But okay, so you saying Democrats are not leftists?
Yes, they are. Democrats are
Okay,
left.
so you just said
But
President Bill Clinton wasn't a leftist, but
you
he's a
have
Democrat.
different extremes. You have different extremes. You have different extremes of leftism. That's what I'm saying. You have just like you have a far right, you have a far left.
Okay.
I know what I'm saying.
But you saying, but this is what trying to get the definition. You saying that Democrats are leftists,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But are you saying not all leftists are Democrats? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Or
they're
all
both.
leftists?
No, both.
They're both.
They're
But
both.
you just told me that Bill Clinton, which is a leftist, which is a Democrat, was not a socialist. So that doesn't support your definition. That's what I'm trying
Yes.
to get.
Yes, it does because socialist is going to be a far left.
Oh, so he just went far left. So you saying far
I
leftists?
said that already, Gator. I already said that.
Okay, so leftists themselves are not
Leftist,
socialists, just far left.
far left.
Far left or left.
Yes,
Okay,
far
that's the
left.
part I was trying to distinguish between. So we just need to stay away from the far left.
Yeah, we need to stay. We need to stay away from the far left, and we own the only little part of leftist we should have. We left all leftism is not bad, is because some leftism is good when it's talking about for the poor. So that's why we need a balance. We need a balance. We need to mostly be right. We need to be capitalist because that's what's going to generate the money. Socialism is not going to generate money. Socialism is going to redistribute money. We have to make money first. But in your making the money, we should have some programs to help the more unfortunate and the more needy. But unfortunately, the far left, what the far left would do, the far left would take the money we have. Far left would be like Venezuela. It would take an economy, a country that has a surplus, and it will run it all the way into the ground because it doesn't produce money. It doesn't produce money. It takes. It doesn't give back. It doesn't pump new money into the economy. It just takes and redistribute. And that's fine for the first few years. But guess what? It's like playing the game of chairs. Eventually, it's not enough chairs for the people that's standing up.
So he's talking like Venezuela.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to be. If we go down that far left path, that we're going to be. Only thing is we have more money. It's going to take long. It'll take longer. I mean, yeah. I mean, we might get a 10-year stretch out of it. But eventually, it'll be the same.
So are we trying to make money right now?
And we are. Thanks to this good economy, we are making money.
But
and we need,
as a country, are we making money or is the country making money?
Huh?
That's what I'm trying. Are we making money? Like, are we paying down the deficit? Are we paying back the Social Security? That's what we owe. Are we paying back public trust?
Right now,
that we,
Oh, you talking about are we paying back into? Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about far as
right now
talking about companies and stock markets. I'm not talking about paying down the national debt and paying people 401k. Well, the 401ks go into it, but I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, but that's what we need to pay.
You said what?
Because when I get my Social Security, I want my money to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, because I think
Trump needs to wipe away the national debt. He needs to just absolve it because it's bullshit.
He ain't gonna do that, brother.
It's bullshit anyway. It's bullshit.
What is it, like 22 trillion or something like that?
Yeah, it's bullshit money that's owned to the Rothschilds banks out of England. It's just bullshit.
Some of the money is money owed to China too. So what do you mean the Rothschild banks? I'm confused.
Yeah, our national debt from the Federal Reserve.
I don't think China got like 1 or 2 trillion worth of debt though.
That's what I'm saying. It's not just the Federal Reserve.
Yeah. Well, but the majority of the country's debt is owed to public trust in America. Like they pull money from Social Security, they pull money from those certain places. But like people always talk about China, but the number 2 person we owe money to is Japan. Like, but China just number 1. The number 2 person is Japan. So it's like, but that's just other people coming by debt. But President Trump, he said something a long time ago when he was in business, and they were saying that he owed $1 billion in loans.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying, you're not worried that you owed $1 billion in loans? He was like, why should I be worried? He said, the bank should be worried, not me. He said, So I was like, yeah, you got a point. So if
you think I'm gonna pay you back, huh?
Yeah, I mean, really, but basically, he right like
everybody though.
Huh?
I said the U.S. really owes money to a lot of countries. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
But you're right. But China and Japan are like the number 2 or number 1 and 2.
Yeah, number 1 and 2. But the thing is, okay, but that's 22. I think what China own like maybe 1.2 or 2.2, something like that.
I know it's over. I know it's definitely over 1 trillion. I know both of them is over 1 trillion. I don't know if I don't know.
So it's like, but it's not much. The majority of our money, because I did some research on it a while back, is owed to America itself. Just different funds and things like that.
What's the debt at now? What's the national debt now though?
Like 20.
Yeah, it's like 22, something like that.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
That shit can never be paid back.
How much the stock market is?
You mean total? That trades?
Yeah.
The stock market's in the billions. It's not even $1 trillion that trade in the stock market.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's not even that. Forex trades way more than the stock market. To be honest with you, Forex trades the most money out of all the markets. To be honest with you, nothing does more than Forex. But I mean, It
They
makes
said
sense because
Apple was
Forex is
more
money.
liquid than America. They say Apple is more liquid. That Apple could pull up more cash than the U.S. government could right now.
Damn.
I could believe that because
Too.
Apple has like 1 trillion in cash itself. I believe. Like Apple's no joke. I could believe
Yeah.
that.
You know what's interesting? How they always say that the things of the future are put into movies sometimes, especially like when you talk
Hmm.
sci-fi movies or even dystopian movies.
I
And
believe
one,
that.
and one of the themes of the 21st century movies, even that was coming out in the 90s, early 2000s, is that corporations will become more stronger than nation states.
I
And
believe that.
then you just say what you say right now. The Apple Corporation can put more money on the table right now than a whole American government.
Yeah, I could
This,
believe that.
this kind of stuff was shown 20, 30 years ago in movies.
Yeah.
So
Apple ain't no joke, bro.
yeah, but that's why I believe a lot of this is an agenda. It's an agenda that's set down. And they have 20-year goals, 30-year goals, 50-year goals, and they're steering the world in a certain way. And this is another reason why Trump is fighting China so much in front of the scenes and behind the scenes. All this goes into globalism.
But that trade been hurting us though. The end game
Well, right
is all
now,
about.
well, yeah,
It's
it's
like
painful.
chicken. Yeah,
It's
it's like
painful
chicken,
right
right?
now.
Who go blink first? You know. But it's definitely hurting. But it's just passed on to us, of course. But how much he taxed? I think he taxing like 350 billion or $500 billion worth of goods. Man, he tear them up, man.
Right.
Mhm.
And he already said he gonna make it worse if they wait longer. If they trying to wait him out for the election,
That's what they trying to do. They trying to wait him out.
but he hit to him. He said the longer they wait, the worse it's gonna get. And he said if they wait till after election, he said he gonna rape them.
He's gonna destroy them. It's
And
gonna be a
hey,
problem.
he should do that. I would do the same. Except me and Trump think alike. I'll do the same thing because
He gonna do
you're
he gonna
trying to
tax
fucking play with me.
everything.
But let
Because
me
Yeah.
tell you, that,
you're trying to fucking play with me.
but see,
You're trying to hope I get knocked off.
yeah.
So now since you waited, it's gonna be worse.
And the
So
thing is, believe it or not,
real
a lot of people don't know it, but he's actually hurting the economy.
Yeah.
he's hurting.
Like,
Well, no, well, it's
Yeah.
painful right now, but it's going to be painful during these times.
no. What I'm saying, what the reason I'm saying that is because, like, I believe it was last quarter or the quarter before was the first time that like they've had like a failing quarter as an economy compared to previous years. Like he's the first president to even attempt to do something like that.
Of
Now,
course,
the thing is, it does affect the American people. But
yeah, especially the farmers. It hits them
Yeah.
hardest.
Me too. I'm trying to buy my iPhone already. Damn $1,000.
Well, that's what you
yeah,
get. That's what you get for getting that communist crap with the great camera. Now, I can't hate on the camera.
Yeah,
That shit
yeah.
look like the damn real life.
but not
And
only
then
that,
and then he
it
hit up
affects
Hawaii. What's the name of their cell phone company? He banned them too, right? What
Oh,
Hawaii or something?
I know what you're talking about. What?
Huey or something like that,
Huey,
and
yeah.
it affects their money too because if we're not buying their exports, right? Because for us to buy another country's exports, like we don't buy stuff in China or in Japan, we don't buy it in dollars. So that's part of the foreign exchange market. Like in order for us to buy their exports, we convert our money to their money to buy their exports.
Right, right.
So what we're doing is we're really buying their cash, which
Yeah.
helps their currency value. So by us not buying their exports, it lowers the value of their currency.
Right.
Like he's that's what I'm saying. He's doing some, believe it or not, man. Like people take it lightly, but he's doing some very bold shit.
Oh yeah, he's the only president to stand up to him. But I just want like, what's the strategy? And that's what a lot of economists like they were asking. Like, okay, we got it, we get it, but where's the strategy?
Yeah,
And
where's
then
it?
where's the strategy and where's the off ramp? Because unlike other places, you know, it's all about who can last the longest, and you can only serve for 8 years. So if China they willing
Mhm.
to stick around for 8 years, then what? And then the next president coming, it was all for naught. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
and people were saying too, trade deals don't get done in a year anyway. They say
Anyway.
those things take years to negotiate, and
Yeah.
they a lot of people said that was negotiating the trade. They say the president as a businessman, and he do those big $1 billion deals in America that's locally. He say they feel like he just didn't have the full understanding of how they have to go internationally and like with treaties and stuff. Like, yeah, you just can't start doing this and it just happens, you know.
Right. I hear you.
But
I still
everybody
think
agrees
that's the big picture.
it's a great thing. It's a great thing. It's just a lot. Like it's gonna have to be like one of those finance things when President Obama came in '08 to say, "Hey man, I done started on this. When you come in here, the next female or male president, if you come in here, you gotta hold it. You gotta stick it to them. You gotta be
Yeah.
saying this message on your campaign.
Yeah.
You know."
I think that's going to happen because the Democrats are so destroyed; they're going to be messed up for a few cycles. So I think we'll be able to keep this thing going, Republican, for a while. They destroy they imploding right now, and then
Yeah,
this impeachment are only going to backfire on some real stuff. Even when the Republicans impeached Bill Clinton, it backfired on them. Unfortunately, that's just how it happens. It don't matter what party you are. The party that pushes for impeachment, it always backfire.
no, but the Democratic Party look incompetent right now, to be honest with you.
On top of that,
Yeah.
so now that's a double-edged sword. They already look incompetent. They don't have a good candidate, and now they push this impeachment on something that's very superficial. Okay, fine. Half of the country, most of you guys on this panel, think he should be impeached. Isn't that the title of was this video with Richie Rich? Should he be impeached?
Mm-hmm.
Half the people think so because they think it's not right. They think it's unconstitutional. They think he bullied and pressured. Half the country don't. And even on the surface, okay, it's almost like your inference. You have the transcript. What do you think? What is the pattern? Even with that, and you have bad candidates, it just looks bad for them. They imploding. And then you have
Well,
the
they
party fight.
trash.
You have the party fight. You have the AOC crowd fighting with the Pelosi crowd. You still
And
have
AOC been chilling, and the squad they've been quiet, man. I ain't heard nothing from them in a while.
from the squad, but AOC herself, she's still making noise. I just watched a video of her the other day, yapping. But you're right, Talib
I just
Kweli.
watch Fox, man. That's all I watch, so I couldn't.
Yeah,
And
right.
MSNBC.
Yeah,
Dad,
right.
I always listen to Fox, man. I be like, man, you just gotta hear both
Gator,
sides.
you watch
You know?
CNN, Gator. You watch
Nah, I
CNN.
watch. If you pull up my YouTube stream, you'll see I got Fox, MSNBC. That's what I
Yo,
got on
I'm
mine.
gonna tell you what's so funny. I don't watch any of that. The only channel I watch is
Yeah.
CNBC and Bloomberg.
I just listen to it in my car when
He's
I'm
running.
driving. I just put it on like the highlight
He
clips.
he threw his hat in the race.
Yeah, I just who
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
just jumping in.
It's a clown show.
I watch CNBC. Listen, I watch this is the thing. I watch CNBC.
So who they think go
and
beat
I
him?
watch
Buttigieg?
Bloomberg.
Buttigieg?
Yeah,
Because
they saying Buttigieg, he's the best they got, and you know that's not gonna work. So that's saying something when he's the best you got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're gonna be messed up for a few cycles. So
Well, I said, man, he gonna be the first president because all the other presidents they got crazy, like Irwin saying the next president. He say when he gonna be off the chain. Usually they wait to get in their last term to get off the chain, and
Yeah.
that's when they got impeached. So they ain't have to worry about being not election or nothing. They were like, well,
Hey,
yeah, I just
listen,
finish out my term. You
I'm gonna
know,
tell
but
you,
he gonna be the first president because he gonna be impeached and then get reelected because
he gonna make history.
yeah, you know, yeah.
Hey, this is the only reason I listen. I watch CNBC and Bloomberg because if you watch that channel, they are so unbiased. It don't even matter. Like, listen, the only thing they watch, Gator, is the money, bro. They don't give a fuck about. They don't give a fuck about nothing else but the money. That's all they do. They watch the money, bro. Like they report what it is because it fuck with their bank account.
Yeah,
You know
I know
saying?
the stock market went up today because I think the Chinese president and President Trump met today.
Yeah,
And they
everything
said
went
they might have a deal coming.
exactly. Oh, actually, everything moved up today. Forex
Yeah,
moved
it
up,
went up
futures moved up, currencies moved up. Everything went up today, and it went up
because when they
ridiculous.
said they wouldn't go reach a deal last week, the stock market went down 400
Yeah,
points. So they're definitely watching that trade, man. That trade's
they
big
they
business right
watching it,
now.
bro. It's serious, bro. And listen, that little thing I showed you earlier with that profit, that was based off of the news that took place earlier today.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want listen, CNBC. Listen, if you ever have a chance, bro, one day that both of you are off, just flip between CNBC and Bloomberg. That's it. just spend like 2 hours watching them. You go be like, dang, these niggas tell you the truth about everything. Like they don't lie about anything, bro. Because at the end of the day, the rules apply, man. Follow the money, bro, and you know what's going on.
Okay. So with Bloomberg running, well, I guess he know he's not gonna win. So I guess so. Why did he jump in the race? He think that'll help him?
I don't even know that.
Like
I don't know.
more clout. That give him more clout or something to put him.
And I don't know why.
Why would he want to mess up his own money?
Well, I don't know. I can't speak on that. I'm not even, to be honest with you, I'm not even watching the races and what's going on. I'm just talking about the Bloomberg channel.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't know what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah, and they got like a the Syrian president Assad. They got a sympathizer. That girl, what's her name? Galivy. Like she's always talking about he not that bad of a leader. I was like, man, this lady crazy.
Oh, Assad. He's not, man. He's not. Assad is not. He's not that bad. He's not bad. That's why Putin messed with him. Putin backs him up.
Yeah. Well, he didn't want us to go in there, start fighting, and get another foothold in the Middle East. That's all about strategic positioning.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't be mad at him about that. You yourself said we overextended. We too many places. We don't need to be.
We not too many places. Oh, we enough. We definitely enough places. I think never be too many places.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we got 400. I think it's like 469 bases around the world.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
That we know of. You know, they got them other sites where
and black sites.
Take you nobody.
Hey, I'm realizing we still on live.
Yeah, we lit.
Ain't nobody listening to us.
Nah, it's 27 something people in here. I just looked at I just looked at the comments. There's 24. It's 24 right now. Dang, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we lit, but
you in Florida, huh? So it's 1 o'clock where you at?
Yeah, it's 1:53 a.m.
Damn. It's 10:53 me and Gator at.
Yeah, we over here cooling.
I'm sitting here fucking with y'all niggas. I need to be tucked in. Hey, I'm about to go, man. I just realized that.
Nah, man. We got 2-3 more hours, man.
Nah, I'm good, bro. Hey,
like
listen.
I told Rich, I say, man, we could have a part 2. You know, we could come back and hit a different perspective. You know, it ain't got to be all antagonistic. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No,
maybe the conversation will be what we need to make America great, or what definition are we looking for, and what do we hope to see in the next presidency and candidates or whatever. You know,
hey, y'all niggas work on making America. Y'all niggas work on making America great all you want. I'll just watch from Colombia.
Go get that money.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you make America great. I'm about to make Colombia great.
I ain't got no problem with America. I done told you to ask me. I said, oh man, I ain't moving nowhere. I'm staying.
Oh yeah, I listen. I love this country. I love
America. God damn it! But I realize this country is not perfect. This country is fucked up. It got some fucked up shit.
Yeah, I ain't got no problem with America. I just
guess what?
I love it here.
But guess what?
Cool with
it was fucked up before 2016, before Mr. Orange Man ran though. Okay, so
put some respect on that man. Put some respect on that man.
It was fucked up in 1970. So all of a sudden, it's not Mr. Orange Man's fault.
Hey, he's number 45. Put some respect on his name.
Right.
That's what I tell people. People talking about President Bush is dumb. I'm like, man, I don't care what nobody's saying. I don't say it because President Trump. Nobody becomes president being stupid. Nobody.
That's true. That's true.
Nobody.
He ran his campaign and spent the least money. He spent the least money and still won.
Yeah.
I mean,
he had the long arm of Fox News over there.
I mean, but you got to keep in mind.
Hillary didn't have the whole fucking media complex and everything else.
Nigga, Hillary had Jay-Z. Hillary had Jay-Z and Beyonce doing concerts. Nigga.
Stop reading my mind. I literally was about to say that, Erwin.
But it didn't matter. You got the #1 news network working for you for 2 years. Of 637 interviews you give, 70% of them go to Fox, and you're available at all times for them.
Hey man, hardest working man in showbiz, man.
hey, but listen, real talk though.
Without Fox, there's no President Trump.
Remember,
Fox, there's no
that's deep. I'm not even gonna speak on that one, Gator.
He spent.
What you think?
He spent 2 years not taking money either though. Only reason he took money was because people in his party were talking shit about him not taking money, but he didn't plan on taking anybody's money. You got to respect that, bro.
He said no. He said no Fox News, no Trump. Damn.
I mean, you
I
can't
don't believe it.
you can't deny that though.
But you know what? But you know what I always tell you? I always tell you, hey, when you get an opportunity to watch The Loudest Voice.
Yeah, you've been telling me that. You said the loudest voice.
You,
you said the family or something like that. You said too.
yeah.
No,
I
you
will tell
can't.
you this: if there's no Fox News, there is no President Trump.
Yeah, I mean, Fox is extremely biased. You can't lie. I can't deny that.
Oh yeah, of course. But goddamn, they won voice out of a million.
But they the #1 news network for 18 years in a row.
Oh, Fox
18
is?
years consecutively, #1 news network.
Fox is?
Yeah.
Oh, dang, I didn't know that.
I didn't know they either.
Yeah.
Gator dropping facts. Well, guess what? That means people smart.
Oh, you know why? I get. Well, then again, because I mean, you said 18 years in a row. You gotta think you didn't need cable to watch Fox though.
Now you
You
do.
need cable for CNN, huh?
Yeah, you need cable for CNN. You didn't need cable to watch
I'll
Fox.
go to the airport.
So Fox was attacking cable networks and people who didn't have cable for all those years. So it makes sense they was #1. CNN, you need cable.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they running it, man. They running it.
I ain't know there was #1 though, but I ain't gonna lie. I mean, Trump wouldn't have been where he's at.
Yeah, I be watching my
Fox
boy
support,
Jordan
though.
Wallace on there. He be upsetting the president, man. I watch him on there. Judge Perino on there. I watch The Five.
Yeah, I watch. Yeah, I like
Tucker and Hannity.
You know who you remind me of, Gator? You remind me of Juan on The Five, man.
Yeah, one my guy, man. I met him when I was in DC, man. He pretty cool. He gave
When I listen to him talk, I said that's
Gator. That's funny.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
but he's a good balance. But he's a good balance in there.
Yeah.
But I like them. I like sometimes though. I feel like on The Five they get too character on there. You know, they get a little too claim like dismissive of serious stuff. You know, I was like, now y'all just being like intellectually dumb on purpose.
Hey man, we gotta let Aaron go, man.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, we get with you.
Listen, I'm gonna be up in like 4 hours anyway, man. Trust me.
Damn, you sound like me. Shit, I gotta go too.
I really should be up.
Holla at y'all.
I really should be up now because the Europe market opens now. To be honest with you, but I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna catch up with you though, Big Boss. Hey, great interview about Thailand too. Matter of fact, man, I love how you put it down. But we're gonna catch up, bro.
Yo, on this one, I fell back on purpose. I saw where the wind was blowing, and I let that motherfucker blow.
Hey, so, but really, nobody was. I mean, Gator came from Zaba was different, but Gator, you know, like he said, he was just asking questions. I came from the standpoint like, listen, I like the dude, I like what he's doing and how he's benefiting people, but I could understand why things are being questioned because it does look funny. That was the standpoint I came from.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. I don't, but I would say this: I'm a Trump supporter, but I don't support him 100% in everything he do. I'm not a Trump clone, so a lot of it's a few specific policies and actions that I disagree with. But then again, I don't agree with nobody 100%.
Correct, and that's how it is with everybody. But overall, I think he's doing a great job.
Direction of the country that I live in.
Yeah, it's going.
For my protection, for my rights. Overall,
it's going the way that I want, and I feel he would have done way better. Like I feel Hillary wouldn't even have done this.
Oh hell no, we'd have been a whole nother situation if she would have got in.
Yeah,
but do I want to major on minors and jump on every social issue that's been around for the last 50, 60 years since the civil rights?
Exactly.
And throw it all on Trump's back all of a sudden while the man is coming in doing what he said he was going to do for America. So it's a certain way you have to think. And I don't get caught up in this emotional stuff and follow what everybody say. Oh, man. I don't do that.
No, I get it. I mean, I don't care about the feelings, bro. I just like the feelings don't matter to me. I just care about the end result. Like is it benefiting me or not? That's it. Exactly. That's how I look at it. But hey, listen, but I'm gonna let you go, man. We're gonna chop it up another time.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too, man. Be easy.
All right, real talk
with Big Boss.
With Big Boss. Goddamn right.